is our opening line.
Hey,
Cool.
it's,
Yeah, and I mean, I
we're
mean,
connecting to the past episode.
it's a massage chair for your prostate.
Welcome to the show.
And now we're about to get our
Cool.
get our prostates aggressively massaged by this game.
Because this game is hard. Once you get past Area 3, though, it does give you a permanent progress upgrade. So you just always start from Area 4 now.
That's good.
But yeah, let's see if we can see how much this game fucking stretches our assholes.
I mean, hey, you're able to beat that one boss in one try.
That's true. I've also had just read in general that people had said that the second
half of the game.
second half of the game is slightly easier.
Oh, okay.
Well, like you start out with a level 15 weapon, no matter what. And so, like, rather than having to build.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
scratch.
don't have to go from your basic starting weaponry.
I do have the basic starting weapon, but it's a level 15 version of it.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying, is you don't have to go back and level it up and everything.
Right, yeah, or at least. And then you continue to level it up from there, but...
Oh, okay.
And when you pick up new weapons, do they also start at level 15?
Yeah, so automatically, that's like a new, that's basically your new version of level 1.
You got
Once
a
you get to
sword
this
or
point.
what?
Yeah, sword.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, this game would kind of suck if you had to use fucking level 1 weapon at this point in the game.
Ooh. And like the sword's another permanent upgrade too, where like it took a while to get that, but once you got it,
Then you got
then
it.
you just keep it.
That's good.
Little gold thing, too.
That's like a currency basically.
It's
You get it from defeated enemies.
It's the snitch from Harry Potter, dude.
I thought you were climbing the laser beams or something. That's how it works.
Do you think they're gonna have Quidditch? Do you think they have Quidditch at the Olympics one day?
How would we do that?
Yeah, how would you have Quidditch?
Oh, you never seen kids play Quidditch?
No, I've never
Like
seen
little
kids play
like, riding
Quidditch.
like a hobby horse or something?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, you just run around on a broom. Yeah, people actually play Quidditch.
Well, okay, but I don't see how that's an Olympic sport.
Well, skateboarding is Olympic sport now.
Skateboarding?
Yeah, that was in the Olympics this year,
I think
first year.
that has a better chance of being like Olympic athlete material than fucking Quidditch.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you gotta throw, you have to throw balls through hoops in Quidditch and shit.
Oh?
So, I mean, like, are you telling me because the hoops are perpendicular to the ground that it's that different than basketball?
If these professional Quidditch players want to play basketball in the Olympics, they can.
But they're not used to the hoop, you know, not facing them directly. Like, what are they
I'm
supposed
sure they
to do?
can adapt.
I don't know, Ulysses.
You don't think they could adapt?
I think they should just make Quidditch an Olympic sport.
Did you guys hear that surfboarding is an Olympic sport now?
Yeah.
Surfboarding?
Yeah. Did you guys hear that apparently it's offensive cultural appropriation?
To surfboard?
Yeah, to surf. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did kind of hear about that. Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, apparently white people are saying that there's a lot of angry native Hawaiians.
I don't.
White people are always making these fucking wild ass claims about how other races are feeling, dude.
It's always white people saying about how someone else feels every single time.
Ironically, it's like cultural appropriation of like anger against racism.
They're appropriating people's right to be offended.
Is that a minotaur?
It's like one of the weird aliens.
Huh. Are they minotaurs?
No, they don't have bull faces, but they do have the horns.
All right. What does jellyfish thing do?
They fuck you.
Oh, all right. I didn't know this was a hentai game.
Oh, and this is just so much. Are you kidding? There's so much hentai.
I hope not.
Yeah, man, look at all these tentacles.
Don't get close to him, Sage.
You don't think I should get close to the tentacles?
No, stay away.
Stay away from them.
I don't want to see that.
I mean, generally speaking, unless you're eating an octopus, you should never be close to tentacles.
Yeah, that's the only orifice tentacles should go in.
Mouth?
Yeah, your mouth.
Preferably if they're already dead.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, the number of people that die because they eat like exotic live octopus, like that is so stupid. How much that of a thing that
I
is.
just don't understand the impulse of eating things while they're still alive.
Yeah, kill it first.
Yeah, kill it first.
Well, and remove its fucking suction cups first too. Like,
Yeah.
'cause that's what happens, right? The suction cups stick to their throat, and then they fucking choke to death.
Man, how terrifying would it be to be that octopus, though? You know, some giant animal just, like, ingested you, and you're just trying to cling to the insides of its body, trying to, like, fucking pull on it to, like, crawl out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of questions if something was trying to eat me alive. You know, that's like a nightmare for people. Like, how can we do that to
Well,
animals
it's a
when,
fetish
like...
for some people.
Well, that's true. I mean, but I don't think anybody's doing that to the octopus, like, with the assumption that it's enjoying it.
I hope not, but they're definitely not. I just don't understand the appeal of eating something that's still alive, period.
Yeah, see, I don't understand. Like, think about how much that's like a primeval, deep fear in human beings is like being eaten alive and shit like that. Like that's
Half
like
of Attack on Titan.
yeah, that's like ancient biblical shit. Like half of like our most horrifying mythological creatures. The idea is they're gonna eat your ass while you're still alive, right?
They're gonna eat your ass.
You know?
I didn't know Alex Jones was a mythological creature.
Yeah, Alex Jones is
Oh,
a
Alex
Cyclops,
Jones is
dude.
most definitely a mythological creature.
Dude, if I was making a movie about Greek mythology, I would cast Alex Jones as a Cyclops. That'd be fucking
That would be
hilarious.
awesome. I'd pay to watch that.
Was which hero is it that runs? It's not Perseus, is it? That runs into the
Cyclops?
yeah, that just says, "Oh, I'm nobody," and
No, that's Odysseus.
that's Odysseus.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alex Jones fighting Odysseus.
That'd be awesome.
Odysseus, let me tell you about these interdimensional pedophiles.
I'm tired of all these sheep. I'm hiding underneath one.
Odysseus, I'm telling you, they're making these astronauts smoke DMT, and then they're setting him into high-level meetings with these interdimensional aliens. That's a fun impression I've started to just
Yeah, you're getting
really
pretty,
enjoy
you're getting
doing.
pretty good at that.
I feel like you can just say anything that sounds crazy, and it works.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What is that giant glowing ball thing?
Yeah. What is that?
I'm sorry, oh, the floating thing in the middle. I have no idea. It made me think of the weird, like, lock things in the foundation in Control.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But as far as I can tell,
Oh,
there's
shit.
no, like...
Wow, you just got wrecked.
Damn.
Fucking plant elements.
Yeah, they're just like doing their little
Not the greatest run I've had so far.
doing their little pollen jizz on you, man.
Whoa, shit. Alright. Pretty sure, yeah, okay, he's last. There we go.
That was a close one.
Damn.
Shit.
Hopefully there's some health.
Yeah, well, this game's incredibly stingy about health.
It is. This game is stingy with health.
And, like, aren't there, like, little things you can pick up where it looks like a health pickup, but then it actually takes your health away?
Sometimes.
That's bullshit. That's just mean.
That's this game for you. Should have been the fucking tagline for, store page.
It's this game is mean.
I mean, why not? There's a whole market for that after Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I find this more difficult than Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Now that I've played it, all but like except for a couple of the Souls games now, this is harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has more to do with timing and like random variants than whereas with Dark Souls at least you can make like a good build and you can learn the patterns of bosses pretty easily. What's that one do?
You got a malfunction, dude.
Yeah, I do. Malfunctions are fun. Sometimes you pick up like a purple item and it'll give you a bonus, but then
Oh
it'll
god,
also
a jellyfish
do
with
something
wings.
cool.
Oh,
That's not good.
tentacle rape from the sky.
Like a biblical angel or something.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
What was that?
Wow, you're almost there.
There's a
Oh,
lot
And
of
I'm
shit
dead.
going on. What the fuck was that?
I don't even know what got me.
Circles.
I think the circles were just coming from one of those, like, there's these little objects around the environment that'll project little damage circles. Yeah, I don't know what creature was attacking him from behind.
Right.
Alright, well, that run we didn't get very far that time.
What kind of creature attacked you from behind? Say?
Probably one of the flying jellyfish.
Always trapped. Every way out is another cycle.
Because Ulysses, did I tell you about the part of this game where you beat the third boss and you think you're safe and rescued and all that, and then she lives like a whole life on Earth, and then dies and still wakes up at the beginning of the time loop?
I think they should have made you play through their entire life.
That'd be a long fucking game.
Do you like that episode of Rick and Morty where he's like, Morty, you went back to the carpet store after you got cancer?
I like that episode of Supernatural where Dean trapped in that loop. And the thing
Oh, and the mystery spot episode.
Yeah.
That's such a great one. Back when that show was good.
What's with these tacos?
I think,
Tacos taste funny to you?
don't they got some Supernatural spin-offs coming up? Say?
Oh yeah, there's some great
It's
ones coming
it's
out.
supposed to be a prequel about the parents, which we already got more than enough flashbacks in the main show.
Yeah, but say
Covering
the
that.
CW's bottom line didn't get enough flashbacks yet.
I
What if this show gets more flashbacks to another show that could be a prequel for this one?
Yeah, what if it's about their parents' parents?
Yeah.
I mean, that would at least be a different fucking character. I'd
Well,
take
actually,
that
they-
over the one about the parents.
Well, actually, the revelation is that their grandparents would
That-
actually be exactly the same, but just from a different time period.
Okay. Well, we've seen the
'cause
grandparents before too.
They're their
so that
own.
doesn't
They're
work
their
either.
own
Well,
grandpa.
those aren't the real grandparents. Those are actually demons of the sky. That's going to be one of the reveals.
Yeah,
Oh.
the real lesson is that they're their own grandpa at the end of the
Yeah.
series.
Oh, like Futurama.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever you tell me is probably more interesting than whatever the show's gonna try and tell me.
Well, that's
you gonna watch it?
No.
You're just truly done with Supernatural now.
come on, man. That was your favorite show,
Yeah,
especially the last season.
I'm not watching it.
didn't you feel like it finished on a really strong note, Sage?
Say that one more time. I'm
That
sorry.
it finished on a really strong note?
No,
The series?
I mean, the last episode was better than like the last two seasons. Like
Okay.
it was probably the best episode that the show had in a while. But it wasn't like great. It had a few concepts that were all right. It wasn't as laughably stupid as like so much of the show had been recently,
Well, that's good.
but it still wasn't good.
Too bad, man. Series really shouldn't overstay their welcome.
Well, especially by 10 years.
Yeah, the show literally went on to 10 extra years.
That is crazy.
Like, man, I remember I watched that premiere episode when it was live on TV in 2005. That was in 2005.
That is a long time, man.
Like, if the show had ended when it was meant to, we would be coming up on the 11th anniversary of the finale.
Wow. Well, whatever.
Oh,
Now you just got a prequel to watch. So.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah,
No.
yes, you are.
And you're
Sage.
obligated to.
I'm
Yeah.
not obligated to.
You're too invested in the universe. Sage.
I
Yeah,
gave it
Sage.
enough of my time.
No,
You
no,
gotta give
no.
it all of your time.
Yeah, all your
No,
time.
no,
You
no,
need
no,
to-
no, no.
Devote your life to becoming an expert in
Yeah.
fucking supernatural lore.
Right. I want you to be able to like tell me what's going on in the fan fiction, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been able to do that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Sam and Dean are fucking each other. There. What else do you want
well,
to
I'm
know?
just asking you to go confirm that for me
Why do I need to confirm that for you?
because you're gonna enjoy
The
it
most
too.
invested in the
Yeah.
franchise, and I think if any of the three of us would like to see Sam and Dean fuck, it's you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
I
them
just
fuck.
need you to go confirm that for me. Are they
That
fucking?
they're fuck. I don't.
Yeah, are they
well, I
fucking?
mean, in the fan fiction, I'm sure. I'm sure they
Are they though?
Well, I don't
What about
know for a
Castiel's
Well,
fact.
then go read it.
I'm not reading it.
Well, they made
Well,
Castiel gay
yeah.
in the last season, so we know he's banging somebody. But which is it?
Yeah, Sage.
Is it Dean?
These are important questions that need to be answered, and
Don't
only you,
Castiel at
that's
top or
true.
bottom?
only you can read all this fan fiction, dude.
Alex, if you would like to pull up some supernatural fan fiction and read it on the stream, you are more than welcome
No,
to.
I'm asking you to read it.
I know, I'm asking you to read it.
Why do you want me to read it?
Do you think there's David Gnome fanfiction?
Oh hell
Oh,
no!
shit.
Oh hell no!
Alex,
Why
you're the
you
most
know?
invested in that,
Hell
right?
no. I am not invested in gnome anything.
Oh shit, those flying jellyfish actually have sulfur faces. That's pretty cool.
You're invested in their death?
Yeah, I guess, you know.
So what if
Well, maybe there's some fan fiction about gnome deaths. How are you going to know unless you look through piles and piles
Dude,
and piles
if
of
you're
erotic,
considering-
erotic gnome fan fiction?
If you're considering my relationship with gnomes to be an investment, dude, then that's like saying that.
Your hatred is an investment.
Yeah, you're the most invested out of all of us as gnomes.
Well, I mean, sure.
I think we got you.
Sure. No, I mean, yeah. I'm invested in the way that like the Ford Corporation was invested in the future of Judaism before World War II. No, I have no love for gnomes, dude.
Oh man, I don't know. Some tells me you do.
I
I can't shake this feeling that you have some secret love for gnomes.
I think you want to see David Gnome fucking in life.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even like midget porn. Like, I'm gonna watch gnome porn.
Maybe the gnome aspect is what's missing.
Yeah.
If only
you'd
they were
enjoy it a lot
shorter. Only if they were shorter and more squat, it would like really do it for me.
Yeah,
That's the idea.
Pointy hat.
They had beards and pointy hats.
Yeah.
That's what I need. Women with beards.
Isn't that a thing in some fantasy universes for dwarves?
I think so.
What
Isn't it a thing? Which is it? Dwarves who like dwarves are the ones that like nobody ever sees their women, right?
Usually, yeah.
They make
Yeah.
a joke about that in Lord of the Rings and the
Yep.
extended cut. This is like even the dwarves don't know if they're female dwarves.
Maybe dwarves in Lord of the Rings are just asexual.
Oh shit.
Wow, that was a trap.
I don't know, man. Even the trees are banging in Lord of the Rings. Like,
Well, maybe they're doing all the banging that the dwarves are missing out on.
I guess. Well, but then the tree women were missing too.
Well, maybe the trees were gay.
All of them?
Why not?
Just because they got wood.
Yeah.
Just 'cause they-
Okay.
Oh shit!
At least that didn't insta-kill you.
And you got some health, so actually that worked out pretty well.
In a game like this, I'm surprised that didn't insta-kill you.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any true insta kills. It's just that if you get hit very many times, your health could go down very quickly. But even falling off into like an abyss type thing, like you're completely off the edge of the map, you still just have a little bit of health taken.
Games have definitely gotten a lot less heavy-handed with like fall damage and like falling into pools and shit.
I think they've realized that that's one of the most infuriating things that can happen. Like,
I think it makes sense depending on the game.
Yeah.
You know, like some games it makes sense to have fall damage, but
Not shit.
I mean, I'm not against fall damage. I'm just like,
shit. See, like, see how much
oh,
health that guy
man.
took out of me?
I don't know if this guy's being so close to him.
yeah, man.
The melee attacks can stagger him really quickly.
This dude straight up looks like Cthulhu, man. You gotta do something about this.
Oh, he's halfway dead.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
More
Oh,
than halfway dead.
there's just some dark sound
see, damn.
waves or whatever. Okay.
Oh, I hadn't seen that with all the red lights on
Yeah,
the road
right.
before. Huh.
Cool.
All right, well,
Learn
that's
something
what
every
this
time.
game is. It's
Back at it
in the
again.
beginning a lot.
Yep. Well, it's not the beginning anymore, at least.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's a. I almost was starting to maybe want to give up on the game because I felt like I was in such a. I just was so stuck on that third boss. But then I just gave it one more shot when we streamed it last time, and I
And
ended
it
up
worked
getting
out.
through. In one run, I got all the way through boss 3 and 4,
That is pretty crazy.
and almost all the way through Area 5 too.
Back to the subject of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
What scene was it where the tree people were banging? Because I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, there's no tree orgy in Lord of the Rings. It's just they talk about the female.
More extended cut then.
But they,
The XXX cut of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
the
like
studio.
you want to see how a forest is made?
Spreading their seeds, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know that the producers pushed Peter Jackson really hard to kill off one of the main Hobbit characters?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why?
he wouldn't let, he like refused to do it. But there was going to be a nude scene that the producers were pushing for that Peter Jackson just again refused to like put in the movie.
There are a limited number of Lord of the Rings characters I'd be interested in seeing.
I don't want to
nude.
be naked Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it would have been Hobbits. So.
What?
Yeah.
What?
No, I'll tell you. Literally, what was going to happen was that in the
Somebody
forest,
pushed for that?
in the second movie, when Merry and Pippin get when they're like climbing around on Treebeard, there's a scene where they like fall
Well,
off of
on
him.
Treebeard?
Yeah, they're on Treebeard. There was going to be a big scene where, damn it.
They were going to be rubbing their dicks on Treebeard?
Well, okay, I didn't say that. But they were gonna like fall off of him, and as they like went down to the
Oh
ground,
god, they're gonna go down on him.
yes, no, as they went down and like through all the branches and fell on the ground, the tree branches were gonna like tear all their clothes off, and they were gonna be naked on the ground.
Wow, that's gratuitous as fuck.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Thank God that Peter Jackson said "fuck off," but
That's what I would say too. I'd be like, listen, these hobbits, A, should not be seen naked. B, definitely shouldn't be seen naked in front of Treebeard. How's Treebeard supposed to react to like that? To that? What would he even say?
I don't know.
just
He already had a hard time handling that situation.
he had a hard enough time talking. Like, you should put on your pants.
That's what the gathering of all the Ents to like make a big decision.
Where
That's
there's
just
like
alright,
a long, drawn-out conversation about a hobbit dick.
Yeah.
Except it's gonna be like the damn sloth in Zootopia.
Yep.
Sounds great.
That sounds horrible.
Who was pushing for this idea?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nebulous, terrible producers.
Just like, you know what this movie needs?
Hobbit
It needs
dick.
more nudity. And then Peter Jackson will probably been like, okay, we can probably arrange that. They're like specifically naked hobbits. And then that's got to be like the fuck you moment.
Now, I hope that Lord of the Rings Amazon thing doesn't have naked hobbits.
I hope not.
I hope they don't try to go too.
it's
I hope they don't. Oh yeah. I hope they don't try to go too Game of Thrones with it.
I hope
and
so
just,
too.
And
but
just infect Lord of the Rings with just like that kind of
the biggest,
schlocky, over-sexualized kind
right.
of like.
The biggest. I think they actually said there won't be any sex scenes in it. The
Oh,
other day.
okay.
But
Oh, that's good.
they specifically were like, yeah, no, there's not going to be any like.
Yeah,
sex scenes at
I
all.
mean, again, like you could make it work. I just don't want it to like I don't want the pornographic element of it to be like central to the show in the way that it was for Game of Thrones.
Well, the biggest like positive I can say, since we haven't seen footage, we don't know exactly what the show's going to look like or be like, so we don't. Its quality is very nebulous at this moment. But the one thing that I'll say in like the positive direction of like, oh, hopefully it's good, is that the Tolkien estate hated those Hobbit movies
No, good.
and were fucking furious about how poorly those turned out. And they saw the scripts for the show before they greenlit it even happening.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
they
good.
liked those enough after having disasters already happen. They thought those scripts were good enough that they were like, all right, we can let this go forward. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful at least that estate is some level of quality control,
Right.
because they were pissed about the Hobbit movies. They were unhappy.
Yeah, those were not good.
You think there's gonna be like a character who's like a hobbit foot fetishist?
Ugh.
Well, here.
So
I'm
who would
gonna
be
ask
into
you-
Hobbit feet?
I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do you think that normal foot fetishist's favorite creature is hobbit?
That would make sense.
I mean, only specifically the type of people who are like you know, in the gay community talk about like bears. I feel like that's the only who's into hairy feet?
Somebody must.
Like
Someone, come on, someone though.
hairy, leathery, just tough pancake, swollen ass feet.
Somebody.
I bet there's people like that.
I just.
There's that house again.
I don't know. I mean, I eternally do not understand foot fetishes or what makes a foot sexy, but I have to assume,
Just ask Quentin Tarantino.
I have to assume
He
several.
will gladly explain it to you.
I'm sure he could. But,
You think he likes hobbits?
Oh, God, fuck yeah.
what makes a foot sexy? Like, I mean, I just feel.
Man.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think feet are sexy either. I don't. I don't. I'm with you. I
know.
don't get it.
I know.
They're just feet.
But,
But what I'm
there are
saying-
people.
I know there are people, but what I'm saying is I don't know what makes a foot sexy, but I'm pretty sure like the Hobbit foot features several like characteristics that would make it unsexy,
Yeah.
right?
I would say
all
so.
that hair would have to detract from the sexiness of the foot, right? Like
I don't know. I mean, there are people who like, hairy people.
okay.
It's the thing. So maybe there are people
Yeah.
who are like, damn, I wish feet were more hairy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got like a small bit of hair on top of my feet, and mostly I get.
So if maybe you could do an experiment, just put on some like lingerie, just take a bunch of like pictures of your feet and just put them on the internet and see if anybody lines up.
No, I'm good. But I'm saying the only thoughts I've ever had on the hair on the top of my feet, definitely never thought it was something that made my feet attractive. Just like irritation at the fact that sometimes they'll get pulled out by my socks.
That's pleasant. Something other than something to know about?
Okay, I'm just picking up. Oh shit, one of these guys.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a concern. So is this one of those guys where if you kill him, he permanently goes away?
No, these are just, this is honestly just an enemy type that recurs slightly less frequently than the basic ones. He's just kind of he's just basically a heavy enemy. So he's not even close to like a boss type thing. So that's something you'll as long as you're playing this game, that's gonna come up.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I like this better.
So when you're doing this game, is it possible to just run through an area, or do you have to fight everything to progress?
You can run through the area, but the only problem with that though is that you're not going to get
Beefed
those
up
better
enough.
weapons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not going to be strong enough. So in theory, yes, you could, and if you were good at the game and you were so good that you could use the like basic level 1 weapon to like totally just rip the bosses apart, and you were just that good at the timing. Yeah, you could just totally run through it, but I'm not that good enough at it at least.
Sure.
But in theory, it is something that's possible. Like whoever played the dude that fucking beat Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller, that guy probably would be.
Oh fuck! Somebody did that.
Yeah, somebody straight up fucking did
Wow.
Can you imagine how long that must have taken to practice for that?
Yeah,
God,
it's
yeah,
almost
dude, I mean-
impossible. Dude.
It's when they did it with multiple games too. So it's like all of Bloodborne, all of
I feel like
fucking.
if you can do it with one game, you can probably do it with more.
Well, you've definitely mastered the Guitar Hero controller at that point. To like
Yeah.
to a point that the people who made Guitar Hero never expected anyone to.
Yeah, it wasn't designed to play Dark Souls with.
Yeah, I know. They still make Guitar Hero?
No,
That doesn't surprise
I
me.
think Rock Band might have gotten a release in the relatively recent past, but
See, I feel like those games, they can only come out every once in a while.
for a long time they were
Coming out
rapid
all
release.
the
I
time.
think
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why
They died.
anymore.
Yeah.
They overstayed their welcome a bit.
I mean, I remember when that was like basically all the rage of the entire game industry.
Right.
Everybody wanted to copy it.
Yep, they made Rock Band, and then they made DJ Hero, and I don't remember. I think
It
that
was
might have
really
been it.
running out of
It was-
steam when they got to DJ Hero.
Yeah.
It was on its way out.
Oh yeah, that
at
was
that point.
that was the
Like
end.
mariachi band hero. Or
Mariachi band hero.
You know, wireless maracas.
You know, I might play that if someone made it. I might be willing to play that one.
That would be pretty funny, dude.
Murmuring cocoon.
So that increases the positive effects of parasites we pick up.
It's always a good sign when you pick up a little parasite cocoon that's murmuring at you.
Yeah. Nothing
What
terrifying about
what kind of
it.
stuff is it murmuring to us?
Not-
I don't know.
So,
I
like,
don't know the universe of this planet.
It's advice about what life insurance to get.
Oh God. The Geico parasite.
oh, wait.
Now that's an accurate ass fucking name, if anything.
Just holding the cocoon up, just like, if you get a term life policy, you won't accumulate assets, but the cost will be lower.
I don't know, it's like an ad where like somebody's on the toilet, right? And
Yep.
It looks like a little tapeworm like crawls out of their ass. And while they're texting their phone, you're like, you could save some money if you switch to Geico.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. It's like, either get in my ass or get out of my ass. Damn, this thing's fucking you up. Good, dude.
Yeah, laser
Shit.
first, man, yeah.
Yep. Just the position of it really locked you in.
I know, this position hurts.
Yeah, in this game you're gonna be a bottom for a while.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
That is a language cipher, because there's like alien writing you find sometimes.
Okay, if there's some words going on, I don't know how it's gonna help us.
Not right
Damn.
now. Definitely not right now.
It is just straight up bullet hell sometimes, dude. Now you got some health at least.
I've always found bullet hell bad games to be like the hardest ones for me.
Yeah, it's just, you just have to have such a fucking level of like,
Just
Timing and-
precision of movement and
yeah. Like, that's why I say this is, I think, genuinely, I have had a harder time with this than Dark Souls even. Because Dark Souls requires being precise and having timing, but not to this level. Dark Souls it moves slower in general, right? Like, Dark Souls, like, requires
shit.
timing in a
You weren't
relatively
actually-
slow-paced game.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
there's more room for strategizing and shit.
Yeah, like this, you just have to be fucking in the moment, reactionary, like just constantly. See, this is one of those ones where it's either going to make my health bar longer or it'll hurt me, and you don't know which one.
Huh.
So we're gonna try it. Nope, that one just hurt me.
That sucks.
Where are we fucking going?
What this cool ass game. How far along are we in this?
This is area 4. This forest area 5 is kind of a snow ice wasteland type thing, and then area 6 is the last area. So there's only 2 bosses left because I already did the area. The area 4 boss was the one playing the weird like
church organ type thing.
yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Right though, like this game blows me away with its visual design, and that's like, you know, despite how hard it is, like I keep wanting to like keep playing it because
You want to see what's next.
yeah, I want to see it. It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's like it's worthwhile to me to get through it.
Okay.
Damn it!
Ah, damn.
That's another one.
Just a jump right up your ass.
Shit.
Like that tapeworm.
Yeah. Hey, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Just the worm pops out of your ass, pulls out a piece of paper, like you've been served.
It's like an ass worm subpoenas.
It's like, damn, he's the best. Like,
What is the new item.
It would be really hard to get away from a worm that's in your ass.
Yeah,
It's inside your ass. First chances of finding salvage from hostiles, so that's good.
huh, cool.
All right, let's try it again. There's I think the main reason I made it as far as I did on that last run is because almost immediately upon entering this fourth area, it gave me a new kind of gun, which I haven't actually picked up yet in any of these runs yet today. Oh Jesus Christ! And it's like shoots like these electric like prods into the enemy and like does like consistent damage over time.
Oh,
and so
okay.
like even if you're not firing, it keeps hurting them.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that
is like...
So you can take cover and shit, so it actually just keeps
Yeah, and especially during the bosses where it's like you're literally just always hurting them if you're able to hit them pretty consistently. It makes that way easier.
Which is actually focus on dodging shit.
Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, it's totally easier to focus on maneuvering when your weapon's basically going to be doing some amount of damage no matter what. It's just a more... It's definitely the most user-friendly weapon in the game. The other one is the one I actually had just before I died last, which was like a poison effect based kind of the same thing. The electric one is better though.
Okay.
Because the poison one is the one that I was using before, and that's the weapon I finally beat the third boss with. After trying like every weapon in the game,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
losing over and over again. That
Sometimes
one,
you just have to pray you get the right weapon in a run.
that's part of this game. Is you do kind of, and there we go. We just got it.
Oh, we did
nice.
this time.
So this will hopefully be the best run.
Prove the power of this weapon, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll probably only trade it out honestly if I get a higher level version of the same weapon.
First, watch the enemies here be like resistant to electric damage or some shit.
Well, and even into Area 5 they aren't. So I guess I can say for sure nothing before Area 6. Perhaps something comes up there. But I don't think any of the enemies are actually resistant to any of the different kinds of weapons in this game. I think it's just a matter of them just getting to be higher and higher, like levels
Okay.
of damage, or levels, or whatever, of defense and damage. Alex, would you like to tell Ulysses about Sonichu?
What?
Okay, Ulysses, so I gotta, like, go, like, far back into, some internet lore shit for you.
Okay.
But, so in the early days of the internet, especially in the early days of, like, weird internet fetish communities and, just kind of strange... Now, you remember how... I mean, you were on the internet a bunch in the early 2000s, right? Early to mid 2000s?
Not really, actually.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
Okay, so
We
you...
played a lot of Doom in the early to mid 2000s, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I played games, but I wasn't online a ton.
Oh, okay. Well, there was...
you just remember it that way because Ulysses always had Doom going on the...
Yeah, that's
At school.
probably true. But yeah, in the earliest days of the internet was kind of the beginning of like kind of fandom communities and also the weird fascination that people had with some of the strangest people that were starting to populate the internet.
Sure.
And there was this
Early personalities that people followed.
Yeah. And there was a guy named Christian Chandler back in the day, and he was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. He's one of the earliest people to kind of start the Sonic fandom that we have now. But I mean, you know, people were mostly just making fun of him back in the day. Either way, so he had a series of books called Sonichu, which was like fan fiction about this. Yeah, about this dimensional merge where Sonic and Pikachu like became the same creature. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. It's garbage. I can show you some of the horrible MS Paint art that he made for it and everything.
Like me some MS Paint art.
but he was also
the same level as Bearable guy.
So you see this? I hit
yeah, oh,
him
it's
one
at
time,
least as bad.
and they just
Yeah,
die.
that's nice. But he also kind of garnered a following of like trolls in general, kind of people that want to know what freaks are up to.
Okay.
And people have followed him forever.
You said you were even aware of him.
Yeah, I knew who he was
Back when
before
that
the
happened.
news story broke. But he transitioned.
Okay. Did he transition
Not too long ago.
Sanchez?
No, he transitioned into a woman.
All right.
He still lives with his mom and like all, but what? Anyway, so recently, some of the people that are still following him, were concerned by some of the things he was talking about having done,
Like what?
and reported him to the police.
I don't like where this is going.
Oh, you're not gonna.
You're not going to, and for the sake of everyone, I won't go into like too much detail on
Please
it.
don't.
Anyway, so he, let me see how to say this diplomatically. His mother has dementia.
Okay.
And apparently he was engaging in less than wholesome activities with his demented mom. Or I'm sorry, she was engaging in less than wholesome activities with her mom.
Ew.
But the reason that this is interesting is the conjecture that has started to come up around it.
Okay.
Because specifically in Virginia, where she lives, the laws on incest are specifically gendered.
Oh,
You know?
well, that's a stupid fucking law that needs to be changed.
Yeah, but I mean, well, you have to imagine when it was written, they couldn't imagine the concept of daughter, mother, like forcible situation like that. So the people who are looking at it now are starting to wonder whether this could end up going to the Supreme Court,
Huh.
because they will have to, more than likely, her defense will be that it's not against the law when it's a daughter and a mom.
Ugh.
And then they will have to,
Which is true.
Which is
It's not
true.
against the law.
which means they will have to make a determination on if her gender identity or biological sex is determinative in whether or not that was illegal.
So they may have to.
Huh.
So that could be in your history book someday. The creator of Sonichu,
Well,
this internet cringe lord.
well, that's pretty horrifying.
Could be responsible for us having like
Jesus.
some there may actually be a law enforcing like how your gender works into like written language. Because
Okay, well, the MS Paint art is pretty great. Oh, God. That looks terrible.
Yeah, but so of course everything surrounding it is horrifying, and
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in going into any details on that. But just the idea that this guy who had just been known as this kind of weird loser who made just some of the strangest fan fiction in the history of the internet could end up like determining one of the most significant Supreme Court cases in history would be just
so like that's this person's
bizarre.
fault that the case even had to be made in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah. I just hope they change that law. I mean, it feels like it would be a pretty easy change to make.
Yeah, you would hope they would just recognize that
You
needed
know,
to be changed.
no one that's related should be allowed to fuck each other no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there shouldn't be any exception. I mean, I assume it was because there weren't nearly as many women involved in that actually happening when they wrote that law. So they're like, well, they probably were thinking, well, we don't need to write anything
Yeah.
concerning women because they're not doing it anyway.
Right.
Well, my guess
I have
would
to
be
assume.
my guess would be just that they were really just thinking about the traditional concept of like a
Right.
forcible act like that, and being like, well,
Well, if
you
somebody's
need
gonna do it,
you
it's gonna be a
need
guy.
yeah, like you need a dick. I think would probably just
force,
be,
yeah.
right.
I
They
don't
were
know.
probably also, when they wrote the incest laws, they were probably also focused on relationships that could create children.
Yeah, that's probably
that
also
is
true. Yeah,
That is true.
yeah.
That's definitely true. Well, like I was gonna say, I mean, like there are in fiction there are some cases of women raping men.
Well, I mean, it depends on it.
Green Arrow got raped. yeah.
Yeah.
And Batman actually
Was that in the show or the book?
in the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Arrow and Batman were raped by women while they were unconscious.
Yeah, I was gonna. I mean,
But in Batman's case, that actually is how you get Damian. Damian as Robin. Actually, it's
okay.
just Batman had a rape baby.
wow. Okay.
That's pretty weird.
I mean, there have been cases where women have wanted to get pregnant with somebody's kid and have drugged the guy.
So it's not like it's impossible.
It's not unheard of. It's just
very,
very, very rare.
Yeah, it's not something that happens very much.
I did feel bad. There was some like young tech millionaire or whatever staying at a hotel, and he had thrown a used condom in the trash or whatever. Yep. But then the maid at the hotel, took it.
Oh no!
And he has to pay child support
To her?
because it's his kid. It's definitely 100% biologically his kid.
That's an awful thing.
But if we know that she did this without his consent, then why would he have to pay child support?
Because the kid's still technically his responsibility. That was the argument from the court, at least. That
and it won the case, right? Like,
yeah, he has to pay child support.
I think
That's
that's a
fucking-
terrible law.
Yeah, that's all. That's a horrible way to handle that. But I mean,
Well, I mean, the thing about child support is it pretty much the laws just are like, it's biologically your kid. It's your responsibility.
take care of it.
I don't think there are any carve-outs or exceptions to that law at all.
I mean, I think there should be an exception in the case of rape.
Well, I mean, but it wasn't rape because she
Not
never
exactly, but goddamn,
she never even met that guy.
Okay, well, I don't know what you call it, but if this man was non-consensually contributing genetic material so that she could have a child,
it's
then
goddamn close though.
No, I mean, I'm not saying
it's
right.
not sexual assault.
I just don't.
But-
I don't even know what law that would be. Like, can you theft
I mean,
theft of sperm?
Theft of sperm. I guess maybe it would go under theft. But yeah. I mean, sure, prosecuted as sperm theft. It's something. At least that's something.
But is it theft when he threw it in the garbage?
Well, yeah.
He had already disposed of it. So is it still his
It is
possession?
considered theft for people to steal from the dumpster outside of like a Walmart or whatever.
So is it considered like dumpster diving? Cumster diving?
Dumpster diving. You are being prosecuted for third-degree dumpster diving. I don't know, man. All I know is that shit is not right.
No,
We
it's
should
definitely
we
not
should
right.
allow it.
No, I agree. Like I said, I don't know what crime you would charge somebody with. It's just such a novel idea. But yeah, I mean, I guess dumpster diving is probably
Is that going to be the official legal term?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think so. I think it should be.
I look forward to looking through a court document that uses that.
It's dumpster diving.
You're
I don't have enough to get up.
You are charged with 2 counts of petty larceny, 1 count of breaking and entering, and 1 count of dumpster diving.
Well, plenty of interesting horror to learn about today.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of the most awful things I've learned of in quite some time.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole circumstances surrounding it were horrible, which was why I tried to gloss over them as much as possible, because
Right.
not interested in the gory details of just horrible, degenerate behavior like that. I just thought the idea that this guy could end up...
Oh,
shit. As soon as you open the door.
Yep.
Just that Sonichu and all of that could end up being part of important Supreme Court legislation would be.
We live in a strange age.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking time, man.
I'm very curious about how we're gonna be remembered.
Hey, I mean, like...
I kind of hope we're not.
Ulysses, do you know what my biggest nightmare is?
What?
Like literally the thing that keeps me up at night?
What?
Is just thinking about even the possibility of Jesus coming back, or the aliens landing, or humans from the future just coming back, to now, and then just seeing what the world's like and having to explain it to them. Like that's
really embarrassing.
Yeah, I would tell Jesus, I'd be like, Jesus, sorry, you got to come inside. Let me make you tea. Right, there's a thing called the internet. Don't go there.
Stay away.
Just like
that would be my advice if Jesus ever came back.
Right.
Welcome to the stream, by the way. Hi.
Hey, yeah, welcome.
I saw somebody pop up on there.
Oh, nice.
I'll stick with this for now.
Dreadnought is bad.
It's like kind of ricochet, or not ricochet, but like almost like boomerang bullets.
Cool. Can they hurt you?
No,
That's good.
they just come back to the gun kind of quickly. Oh Jesus Christ!
I remember there used to be a lot of shooters that had that kind of ricochet bullet type thing, but they'd always hurt you if they came back around.
Yeah, I think Wolfenstein even had that with the shotguns.
Okay.
Just the one we played recently.
I didn't notice that at all. But, fucking John Romero in particular had a fascination with making guns that kill the player in his game. That's part of the reason why Daikatana stopped.
Just from ricochet bullets. And
I
all
have
that.
never played that one.
Don't. That's the best advice I can give you on that one. That game is like famously trash.
I definitely had heard bad things about it before.
It was also one of those ones that's been built up for like fucking forever. It's going to be like the next big thing in gaming because everybody expected great things from John Romero, and he turned out he'd just been wasting all the money on the game development on like fancy hotel rooms and drugs, and the years of development.
Responsible of them.
That's better than making a good game.
Well, he had this idea that game developers are like rock stars, and so.
No. No, they're nerds, dude.
Oh, he definitely believed it, though.
That's like when you watch like esports and people are like, these are athletes. And you're like,
they're not athletes.
No. Sitting in front of a chair playing a fucking video game.
Or
don't think he's worthy of
a lot of
you can recognize
stick
nerds.
That's the next Olympic sport we could have in
esports.
Esports. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be there eventually, dude.
Oh yeah.
Some dude.
You can make an argument.
It takes real skill. It takes real skill to be that good at video games.
Athletics.
But it's not athletic
skill.
It's a different kind of skill.
Yeah, right.
It's memorization. It's
Well, you could argue that maybe
reflexes,
it flexes your wrists. So you got to have really strong wrists and finger control.
I mean, sure. You can make an argument for it being like,
there is a real thing in Korea where like veteran StarCraft players will actually wear out because their wrist muscles will be overused, and so like when they get beyond a certain age, they have to quit.
So,
yeah, you can definitely get carpal tunnel from fucking playing StarCraft and shit.
Yeah, so there's totally like a legitimate like skill involved with games, especially when they're hard.
Oh, did you see gaming?
It's not athletic.
Did you see gaming PCs are straight up illegal in California now?
What?
Yeah, you can't. Like high-end gaming PCs, you cannot buy in California, Washington, Vermont. I can't remember. There's a couple other states, but they're saying that they use too much power beyond what's allowed, and they've actually outlawed them. Like, you can go on and try to buy, like, an Alienware PC right now, like a high-end Alienware PC, and if your address is in California, it will tell you they just can't sell it to you.
Do they even use more power than a regular PC?
Like a gaming PC? Oh, yeah, 100
much
for sure. I don't know. It has to come in under, like, 50 kilowatts? I don't know, whatever. That might be too big of a number. I don't know. But
How much is the power use of one of those versus like other household appliances?
I don't know. I just know that they're illegal now.
Yeah.
Like, you literally cannot buy one in California now.
If this is part of some attempt to limit energy consumption and combat, like climate change and shit, I feel
Yeah.
like there are more pressing issues higher up the chain than individual PCs.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm just telling you can't buy one right now in
Man,
California, Washington, Vermont.
Like, taking showers and shit.
Well, dude, it's already in New York. You're not allowed to turn your air conditioner. You're literally supposed to use your air conditioner to get your house down to 85 degrees.
Yep.
That's the coldest you're allowed to use your air conditioner
Yep.
to get it to be.
Yep.
It's down to 85 degrees.
Yeah, no, I mean, well,
Oh shit! God damn.
shit. The power,
He's not having a lot of success this time.
the power grid situation is very negative right now, dude.
It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah,
And instead of trying to find ways to actually, make more power or produce
you know what?
better, more renewable energy, we're just
Punish
gonna,
the individual consumer.
You know what? You know what made
but
me?
also keep Times Square lit up
Yeah.
Yes.
24/7
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and never turn that off.
Yeah.
Because that we need. We have to have that.
Yeah, because so many people are going to Times Square right now to see the world famous incoming gunfire from New York City.
That was good.
One for the bullets. To the cemetery.
Dude, there was a drive-by shooting, a huge drive-by shooting in New York with like multiple unintended casualties the other day,
Really?
where the assailants drove by on fucking mopeds and just started mowing people down.
They were really mowing people down, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Could you imagine a bunch of people on a fucking moped? He whips out a fucking AK-47, Mac 11, whatever, and just starts like unloading on
If
people.
I was the one getting shot at, I'd still laugh at them.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn man, you couldn't take like a cool car to your murder,
Well, they
like.
can't afford one. The economy's getting kind of shit.
Oh, you know the
I'd take
economy.
a bike over
Yeah,
a
I
moped.
was gonna say.
Yeah,
I would
but
drive by
the mass
shooting on a
looks pretty
bike.
shitty.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. There's something just dumb about mopeds.
That's true. It would be hard to take someone seriously, even after they killed multiple people.
They could be in the middle of killing me. I'd still point left.
Well, maybe that's what they're banking on. They know they have a higher chance of getting away.
Comedic value. Dude, in New York City right now, you don't need a laugh to get away. You just like leave.
Yeah, but I mean, it
Walk
helps.
away.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe it's for their own entertainment. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe it was like a date.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, maybe, yeah. It's just being a gangbanger
Hey,
now. It's
Pacini,
getting
I'll give you
boring.
an extra 300K if you do it on a moped.
Ah! I'm just like watching the news later. He actually
I
did it!
fucking- I
He fucking did!
Yeah, New York is in shambles now.
Dude, it's starting to look like the 70s out there, man. I'm not impressed. I keep on
I
seeing
guess
news.
Daredevil comics will be more accurate.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen will actually be a shithole again.
It'll actually be Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Like, Atlanta is, there have been a couple murders in Atlanta, and now the police down there believe a serial killer's on the loose.
Oh shit, a serial killer.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's starting to look like the 70s. These things I never heard
Serial
of.
killer's gonna come back?
I hope.
That trend has been way down.
Oh, yeah,
Dude,
dude.
there's been like 4 people completely dismembered found in like Minneapolis and St. Paul in the last like 4 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
4 different people, and I believe that those are genuinely different, like
Cases.
because of different things. But like, still,
I
it's still
saw a
happening.
news article today about some chick who had like killed her husband and like buried him in the backyard. It was in St. Paul, I think. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People feel like they can get away with it, and they
Yeah.
can. Well, they can.
And then the fucking U is just like a hotbed of insanity. Like, it's like
Oh, yeah?
insanity over there. I mean,
I haven't heard any stories about the U.
yeah, because my wife still gets the kind of like the alerts that the U sends out
Oh,
when
yeah.
there's
Shit.
crime that occurs in that area.
Yeah.
And so she, at least once a week, gets a thing about someone having been held up at gunpoint or all stabbed.
Damn.
Just today, this wasn't a crime, but it's still pretty crazy. Somebody crashed their car into a power line pole, bringing the whole thing down.
Holy shit.
And
Jesus.
so that entire street had to get locked off. And
Damn.
they got people fixing all that, and all the power for the traffic lights is out.
shit.
So there's no traffic direction over there at the moment.
Dude,
But
Christ, dude.
Did you hear about what happened in Shakopee the other day?
what happened in Shakopee?
Oh,
Did we talk about? Did you tell me about this?
yeah, I
already?
told you about this. This guy had apparently been fighting with his girlfriend,
Okay.
who he had beaten previously, and the cops were aware of it. He was out on bail for beating his girlfriend.
He'd been arrested for
Oh
this
yeah, he'd
already.
already been arrested, and they knew that things were not good between him and his girlfriend, but they let him go out on bail and go home.
Okay.
So this was I don't remember if it was Tuesday last week or what. But somebody was filming out near the courthouse in Shakopee.
Okay.
This guy pulling up in his car and dragging her body out
damn.
onto the street,
What the fuck?
and then picking up her decapitated head and leaving with it.
I thought you were gonna say he's gonna throw it at the courthouse.
No, he cut his fucking girlfriend's head off and then dropped her in the middle of the street at like 3 p.m.
Wow.
See, that tells you that like
That's like something you hear out of like Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
it just tells you that people feel comfortable doing this stuff now.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I think it's also because of the pandemic. And
Yeah, I think people
feel
want
No,
to
a
say
lot
that's
of
definitely big
Yeah.
part of it.
emotions and a lot of inability to process things in a normal way
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And a lot of people who maybe had a little bit of mental illness or some personality disorders and stuff. That stuff gets amplified by the
Right.
isolation and feeling stressed because of where society. is
Yeah.
going.
Well, you remember, Sage, at the beginning of this thing, that was like my biggest concern about the one of my biggest concerns about the lockdown was you're going to lock crazy people into their houses.
And then
They were
they're
just going
gonna
to
come
throw
out crazy.
themselves throw themselves at the wall for like a year, and then you let them out.
Yep.
They're going to be extra fucking crazy.
Yep.
Like, isolation is not good for people. Like,
Especially when
it
they
fucks
already.
them
I mean,
up.
it's bad for everyone, but especially when you already have problems. Like it's.
Yeah, well, when the only person you talk to are the voices in your head, like...
Right. Yeah. No. That's 100%. Yeah. I don't know why they ever thought.
I don't know. They definitely didn't consider what it would do to people's mental health. Like, I don't
Well,
think
because I mean they don't care.
no. Despite the fact that they all claim to like think people's mental health is so important.
Well, yeah, that's just lip service. They don't actually give a shit.
I mean, if it costs actual money and effort to fix the problem, they're not going to do it.
That's a good point. But yeah, I don't know. Crime's getting bad. I feel like a middle-aged woman now because I followed Minnesota Crime Watch on Twitter. So.
Do you know that?
There's a murder somewhere in the Twin Cities just about every day. It seems
That's
like.
not surprising.
Yeah, no.
but it wasn't every day before.
Yeah, no.
It definitely used to be less.
Well,
frequent than
it's
that.
like I saw almost nothing. The only reason I even knew that woman got decapitated is because a woman I work with came over and showed me the video, and then I was like,
That's interesting coworker culture there. Like, hey, you want to see someone get their head cut off? Sure.
I mean, like there is something about. I mean, she's a middle-aged lady or whatever, and she's a middle-aged Filipino lady, and I feel like in my experience, middle-aged Asian women always know about the good crimes that are going on. Like they're just on top of it. So yeah,
I just envision you and this woman just like one-upping each other with like horrible videos of people being like gruesomely dismembered. Like you're gonna walk into work the next day with like a fucking decapitation.
I try to be normal at work, so I actually highly discouraged her from showing me the decapitation video at work.
But you want to see it, though.
Yeah, but I told her I didn't, and then she made me watch it anyway, and I was like, all right, well, I was gonna Google it later, so that's fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, like I just saw the other day that the 2021 is the second most crime-ridden or like high crime year in
American history.
it was in
Probably not
Minneapolis
that bad, but-
specifically.
Oh, okay.
The second most after 1995, which in 1995 Minneapolis was referred to as Murderapolis by the rest of the country.
Yep.
Well, we're entering a general crime wave that we haven't seen the likes of since the 90s.
Yeah. Yep, the early 90s, and then before that's the 70s. And if we get anywhere near those 70s levels, we'll break all-time records.
Well, I mean, the 70s was that's the time when America just really hit the shitter
Just
in terms of crime.
shit the bed, yeah.
And reaction to crime.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all of our current failed criminal justice policies come from.
Right, yeah, well, that and the 90s, yeah, the last two waves. Yeah, I don't know how we'll respond to this. They've got like in New York City right now, they've got their mayor's race going.
Yeah.
And amazingly, because of what the people would have you believe about like how progressive New York is and everything, the candidate that won the New York mayoral primary is a former police chief who ran entirely on reducing crime because people who actually live there are sick of this shit. And then,
that's going to be the next trend. I mean, a lot of politicians have tried to distance themselves from the whole law and order stuff for a while because of scandals involved in the law enforcement policies. But now that crime's going back up, we're going to see a regression of that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
well,
then
you can't. I mean, that's part of the problem. You can't just get rid of police.
Right. Well, and then the Republican candidate in New York, because if the Democrats are putting up a police chief to deal with how bad the crime situation is, then the Republicans have to go one step further. So their candidate is a guy named Curtis Sliwa, who is one of the founders of the Guardian Angels, which was a vigilante group that got together in order to deal with the crime when the city refused to deal with it in the 90s. So you've got a police chief versus a vigilante now in the New York mayoral primary, less than a year after they defunded their police. So that's how well that went.
Well, I mean, it also shows you can't really defund the police, at least without like a plan in place.
Right.
To like figure out what you're going to do instead.
How you're going to prevent crime.
Right, because if you just get rid of the police and then say, all right, our job's done, crime's going to start happening.
You need to reform the police, not get rid of them.
Don't you remember?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem is that a lot of the people, if you say, well, I don't want to defund the police, they'll say, well, it doesn't really mean that. It means reform them. I'm like, well, why don't you say reform them?
Yeah, why don't you say reform the police? Like, modify the police.
Modify the police. There you go. There you go. That's a better saying, honestly, because at least it accurately.
We're going to turn them all into cyborgs.
Well, yeah. No, shit.
Well, okay. I don't know if that's
I'll think about. I don't want cyber cops, but
RoboCop wasn't a good society.
No.
Our society is getting dangerously closer to RoboCop.
I do feel increasingly. I do feel increasingly nervous that it will turn out to be RoboCop, and we'll wake up and find out that the millionaires fucking bought literally everything and own the police now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already bought the police.
Yeah.
Like the police union is politically tied to people with money. So.
I do get mad at some of these hypocrites, man. AOC was hiring former Blackwater contractors for her security while demanding.
Joke that fucking Blackwater is going to get involved in here somehow, and then you just bring it in without even.
No, that's 100% true.
Well, Betsy DeVos's brother was.
Oh, he's the founder.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been involved to some degree in the political spectrum for.
I mean, it's why Blackwater got the things it did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, Eric Prince, who's Betsy DeVos's brother, he's considered a high member of Trump's inner circle for sure. Like he's well connected into that universe. Yeah, nothing like the U.S. hiring PMCs to
police the public.
Yeah.
Because that always goes.
I mean, just look at what a great job they did in Iraq.
Yeah. Hey. Abu Ghraib wasn't that bad.
Oh, yeah?
It wasn't, huh?
Yeah, no.
I think it was just a
I'd
test
like
case
to disagree.
It's a test case for what they want to do here.
Oh, God. Do wonder that a little bit.
I mean, we know they're looking
how
at
much
China.
of it.
They're looking at China and all the policies it's got and going, how can we make it happen?
Did you see how bad China fucked us?
What did they do?
So have you seen how much they're cracking down on the tech companies in China right now?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so she is clearly trying to move them back to a more like truly socialist state, right? Start to roll back some of the state capitalism that they've kind of run under for the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's starting with the tech companies, and deciding that a decent amount. It started with Alibaba, but they just did it to.
Yeah, that puppy got you.
Yeah, shit.
What was that thing? It was kind of cute.
It's hentai.
It's a hentai. It's a hentai.
Yeah, it's all hentai.
Well, sure, but
This is the hentai game.
is it like those fucking like nine-tailed foxes with tentacles?
Totally something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Big, angry dog creature, wolf kind of fox. I don't know.
You gotta admit, it was kind of cute. I'd like to play a game of fetch with it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna feed the cat real quick.
Sure.
Keep talking about
Okay.
Oh yeah, what was this horrifying shit you were sharing with me?
No, I was just telling you about how China's like privatizing industry again. So, they're going after Didi Chuxing, the like Uber of China, and like, and then they went after a bunch of like online schooling like options and companies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they're basically coming in and saying you should be a not-for-profit corporation.
Oh, cool.
Basically saying like, but these are publicly traded companies with massive amounts of foreign investment in them.
Oh.
Over the course of this, American pension funds have lost $400 billion in the course of basically the government of China just said we're stealing your money.
Jesus.
So yeah, I mean we'll never make that money up. That's people's retirement money just gone.
Man, China really is just economically stealing our
cucking this country.
More eloquently. I don't really feel a whole lot of sympathy for the companies in China, though, because they're operated pretty scummily. Like,
oh, yeah.
The Chinese taxi companies in particular have had huge scandals where their drivers have been sexually assaulting women, and the companies basically not only cover for them, but encourage it. And where there's kind of like a culture where like the drivers all like basically share information of like women on their routes and which ones are the most attractive and things like that.
Ew.
And yeah, there's been a bunch of big scandals in China.
It's being encouraged by these companies?
Basically, yeah.
That's gross, dude. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, what is being encouraged by these companies?
Ulysses is saying that taxi companies in China encourage their employees to sexually assault their passengers.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, there's this whole scandal where there's a particular company where the middle management was well aware of the fact that like crimes were being committed against female passengers, and
right.
at the very least like harassment, but there were several cases of actual sexual assault.
Okay.
And they didn't do anything about it, and in fact they encouraged a company culture where the drivers would share information about women on their respective routes and would rate their attractiveness and things like that.
Jesus, dude. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Gender norms in China are definitely different. I remember seeing pictures of some of like the tech workplaces in China or whatever.
Was it as bad as Blizzard?
Yeah, it looked like it.
I know it's probably.
Oh, okay. But where they would so everybody in China obviously during the tech boom wanted to get as many developers and coders and everything as humanly possible, which in the US it's the same thing. It's always a race for who can give the most perks and shit like that. That's why I like Google. It's like we have an ice cream machine and a pool table.
We're not going to pay you very much.
I mean, they pay pretty good.
Well, some companies do.
Yeah. But in China, they were hiring women to come in dressed.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh, we got somebody on the stream?
Somebody's popped on.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, China.
Well, yeah, and they were like hiring women to come in and like give the coders like massages while they were like working and stuff like that, and kind of flatter them and make them feel good and like dress in like cute outfits and shit like that.
Would they were they being like forced or even encouraged to
Was
sleep
this
with
like
them?
their official job role?
Not that I. Yeah, that was their job. Was to just
Did
like.
they know that ahead of time?
Yes, I
Okay,
believe they knew.
that's
Yeah, no, I
a
mean
little
nobody was
better.
being forced to do anything.
You
as
know
far
what?
as I
That
know.
is better. It's
Yeah.
still strange that would be, a permissible thing.
Yeah,
But at least they knew what they were signing up for.
true.
I mean, if you're okay with it going into it, then I have no problem with that job existing. I find it weird, but if it's completely like
It would have to be
everybody's
conditioned on their employers being extremely honest about
Yeah.
what the limits of that was and what they were
yeah,
expected
absolutely.
to do.
Yeah, and I mean I have no idea. I didn't hear any like employee surveys or anything. I don't know how they felt about it.
Now, I'd
but-
be interested to find out what the opinion is of the women who have these jobs.
that's. I mean, yeah, I
Right.
would totally be. Yeah, then what are they actually saying about it? For
Right.
sure.
I just know if I was a woman, I mean, it wouldn't matter to me, and as long as like the paychecks cleared, they were sizable.
Yeah.
Like whatever, I'll massage this nerd's shoulders.
I mean, again, if it stops there,
Yeah, right.
that's the problem.
I mean, if the dude's going to be creeping on you all day, that's a different story.
No, I mean, I would assume that they were. I can't really imagine. Like, I mean, me, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, I've never had a massage in my life. At least not at like a place or anything, because I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable with the entire idea of strangers touching me. Like,
Right.
Sure.
I can't handle it.
Is that like a laser disco ball?
Basically.
I feel like every disco should have one of those.
To like hack people off at the knees.
Yeah, he can dance a lot.
Just
better.
nothing. The floor's littered with
Dance like
nothing.
Cotton Hill.
The floor is littered
I ain't
with
got no shins.
That'd be a place called Club Cotton.
Club Cotton.
oh my god. Just a bunch of the bells off of bell bottoms, just all
Well, that's the best way to deal with bell bottoms.
lasers. It's like you wear those in here again, I'm taking your feet.
Oh, that's solid. Solid. Alright, well, those clearly are important to some degree because we kept dream
Keep
sequences
on,
with
yeah,
them.
seeing them whirling around and shit. Return to the fractured waste.
What are our little naps on those tables too?
So the green one, so the one I just used, it either refills your health or increases your health. So that's basically another one of those.
Okay.
And then there are red ones which give you another like a status effect, but those can also hurt you if you use them.
I assume you can only use them once per run.
Yeah.
And these jellyfish don't move a lot. It's pretty crazy.
They are land jellyfish.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate creature to be. If we're honest.
Yeah, I don't
Land
know.
jellyfish.
I don't know what maintains its structure, because in the water, it's mostly water.
They're 97% water. Just give them another 3% and make them water.
Oh, interesting science thing I was learning about today. Do you guys know what quasi-stars are?
Quasi stars.
Yeah.
No, are they quasi a star?
Are they like quasars?
Kind of.
Okay.
So they're a hypothetical thing. They may or may not have existed, and we don't think that they can exist now, because if they did exist, it was only when the conditions in the universe were in a very particular way. That basically what you had is, in the early universe, you had these stars formed that were entirely composed of like hydrogen and small amounts of helium.
Okay.
And the nature of the universe at the time, the nature of space itself, allowed these stars to like become unusually large, like far larger than any star today.
Okay.
And they were so big that the stellar fusion process it wasn't quite the same as in a modern star, because what would happen is
Just because of like the intense gravity of it, or
the
what?
gravity
Okay.
would become so immense that it would create like a supernova within the star, but that wouldn't destroy the star.
Like at the core of the star?
Yes. And
oh shit.
The outer part of the star would still be intact as the supernova occurred, and a black hole would form inside of the star that would then power the star for a few million years while gradually consuming it.
Huh. So black hole inside of the star.
And
That's pretty crazy to think about, dude.
Yeah.
the theory goes is that's how the supermassive black holes at the center of galaxies were formed.
Oh, they became supermassive black holes after they'd consumed the entire mass of the star, basically?
Right, because there's it's not really possible for those black holes to have formed under like normal black hole growth processes, because that would have taken longer than in the universe has existed for them to get as big as they are.
Right.
So there has to be some other explanation for that, and quasi-stars are one of the explanations.
Interesting. That's pretty crazy to think about. Fucking astrophysics is some weird shit, dude.
Yeah, like the idea of the primordial universe in particular is very interesting, because the laws of physics as we know them were different.
They were pretty sure that all four of the fundamental forces were like fused into one kind of undefinable force, right? Like
and even after that, like, you know, you still have
just at the insane temperatures that it would have been.
The after effects of the Big Bang that made it so that areas of space were like warm to the point where there's a particular period in the universe's history where you could have had like oceans of liquid water just in space.
That's fucking weird.
That's fucking cool sounding, though.
Yeah.
Just trippy fucking visual, at least.
Yeah, like if you've ever seen on like space stations when they pour water out, that shit looks very weird. Huh. I suppose water would have been an easy compound to create early on in the universe.
Right.
Because oxygen wouldn't have been. I mean, hydrogen's fundamental. That's the building block of the entire universe. But yeah, oxygen wouldn't have been far behind.
Yeah, it really just comes down to at what point in the star cycle we were at, or whether there would have been enough oxygen created.
Right. Yeah, because was in the early universe, was it just hydrogen, or was it hydrogen and helium?
I think it depends on the particular time period.
Okay.
I want to say it was hydrogen first, and then helium was formed as a
Byproduct of stars.
Yeah, so
Okay,
stellar fusion.
yep.
And then from that, you know, you slowly had more and more of the heavier elements
Right.
being.
Yeah, because some of that, I mean, like, anything that's not a gas basically developed fairly recently in, like, the
Cosmic
time scale.
Yeah, like heavy metals and stuff, you know, those did not exist relatively.
Right.
Universal scale. At least not in terms of years, I guess, because a lot of these early stages of the universe took place in like millions of years as opposed to billions.
Right.
But in terms of like the stages of the universe, you know, it's only relatively recently that, you know, we would have recognizable like planets.
Yeah, because that's required. That requires quite a few star cycles, right? Because you've got to have the earliest kind of hydrogen-based stars collapse, and then you get your hydrogen helium stars, and then you just get like stars of more complexity collapsing into different elements.
Yeah, there's a whole cycle of I think they're called populations.
Okay.
And I don't remember which stage we're in.
Okay.
But I remember that the quasi-stars were theorized to have been in population 3, which I think was the first cycle, so.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. The universe is a crazy fucking place, man.
Weird shit. And of course, you know, the question is like, if there's been anything alive back then, we don't know.
Right.
Practice.
Well, and we'd never know because any planetary body that existed at that point is long fucking gone, probably.
Right. I mean, yeah, I can't even imagine what something.
I mean,
would still be alive would even
any
be.
planet that would have been able to support life would have been engulfed by its star.
Well, this is cool.
By this
These
point.
are interesting. I never saw this yet in this area.
It looks friendly.
It's like these holographic, like, museum archives.
Huh.
So it's like depicting events.
It's like the House of
aliens.
Beavis, but more sci-fi.
Right.
Re-lettered with eyes.
Huh.
Yeah, of course, there's very plausible theory that we might be the first intelligent species, at least in our galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
it's like
impossible. But
was it Fermi who asked like, "Where is everybody?" Which I mean, yeah, if we're not the first, it's very strange that we haven't interacted with anything.
and that we can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
unless they nuked themselves before we're
Yeah, or
We were
yeah,
smart
or
enough.
it's the Great Filter. Yeah.
Could be. I still think it's possible that maybe whatever technology allows for, you know, large-scale, high-tech civilizations to exist might be the sort of thing that we aren't capable of detecting yet. It's possible
That's
we
very-
don't know
yeah.
what we're looking for or at.
Right.
I totally think.
Well,
that's a strong possibility.
I think there's a strong possibility that that we may be pretty rare in the fact to be an intelligence that exists in the third dimension the way that we do.
Sure.
Like, I mean, like, if you start to talk about, like creatures with different types of perception or different things that they, like, different frames of reference for just their version of life.
Right.
Like Ulysses said, we could have no idea how to look for them or what they would look like or even what their conception of life is, and just have no idea.
Right.
If we ever do meet any kind of aliens, it's going to be a mind fuck for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever
Well,
it is going to be so different.
Yeah. Well, imagine an alien species that developed with a consciousness that's fourth dimensional and like outside the realm of time and shit like that.
Right.
Like whatever they're able to perceive. Like how the fuck would we know, you know, how to communicate with them? I don't even know if you'd be able to see them. I don't even know what that would mean.
Funny enough,
Right.
that's basically the plot of Arrival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I never saw that movie.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good recent sci-fi film.
Okay. It seemed interesting.
Yeah, it's basically aliens show up, and like the whole movie is them trying to teach this chick their language.
Oh, okay.
It's a much slower, more kind of.
It's like a classical kind of sci-fi idea.
Okay.
A big budget movie.
Interesting. Philosophical sci-fi.
Pretty much, yeah. It's all about perception and how language alters perception and things like that.
Right. Yeah, language changes the way you see the world insanely. Especially I wish I could I can't remember specifically enough to have
Fucking napping there.
to have a really solid conversation about it, but I remember
Enough on me.
I remember somebody explaining how, like, in Polish, Polish is a very literal language, and like how
Time to
difficult.
cancel it. Cancel Polish.
But how difficult it is for Polish people sometimes to like understand the very concept of like idioms and like turn of phrase and shit like that. Kind of like that episode of Archer.
Yeah, where none of the pirates understand like the references they're making.
Right.
That's a good one.
Or there's, I know for sure there's a number of languages in the Amazon that exclude entire colors that we have in our language, and that they just see, so say they don't have a concept of like green in their language, they just see that as blue, like as kind of a shade of blue, and kind of just like we very literally lump it into that.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I mean, like, your eyes see stuff, but until you say, this thing's different from this thing.
We
Right?
all have, as a society, have to agree what those things are. It's
Right.
very different.
Yeah.
And when people can't do that, that's when there's no society anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna be really weird, you know. I mean, if we're dealing with even the equivalent of, say, you know, alien species, it's like those crabs that can see other colors that we can't.
Right.
Like, you know, they might have a very different perception of light and of
Right.
meaning.
Well, there's one of the most interesting like kind of scientific talks that I'd ever heard was for a World Science Festival. They had a panel kind of talking about perception and stuff like that. And they, one of the guys there was saying that there is a 99.999% chance that because of evolution, we did not evolve to see the world as it is. We evolved to see the world in the way that was the most beneficial for us to survive.
Makes sense.
Which, yeah, it does make sense, but it's just weird to think about the fact that, like,
we're not seeing the world, really?
Yeah, there's a very, very high chance that there are things that are obvious about the world around us that we are evolved to ignore or not pay attention to because they're not useful to our survival.
Yeah.
Or, I know one of the things he said, which is like the easiest kind of example that he gave to summarize, was he was saying that that if you do a study and you have people like stand at the bottom of a hill, and then you say, how steep do you think that hill is? They're like, well, like, you know, maybe it's a 20-degree incline or something. But if you put a heavy backpack on people and have them stand at the bottom of the hill and ask them how steep they think the hill is, they'll give you a number like 30 degrees, 35 or something like that. And they've been able to determine that that's not just because the people know it's going to be harder to walk up the hill, but that actually the hill does appear steeper to the person because the mind is changing the way that you see the hill to compensate for the fact that it's going to be harder for you to get up it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. You can definitely fuck with brains, though. Brains are actually not too difficult to play with.
Yeah, we should start a cult.
I mean, I was talking about like optical illusions and shit like that, Sage, but sure, let's start a cult.
Well, you could create
Start a cult based on optical
The
illusions.
cult of optical illusions.
Yeah.
What if you could create an
Just be like, is this an old woman or a princess? Like, worship me.
I mean, shit, you'd get at least one person who probably would.
Yeah. Just be like, is this two people kissing or a cup? I am God.
Yeah, no, you can get at least a small group of people willing to give you that money.
Oh my God.
I firmly believe that is true.
Just based on that.
We're officially the farthest we've gotten.
Nice.
Sitting things there.
I hate those things.
Fuck.
They seem better than the fucking...
God, they have infinite range too.
Yeah, they do.
And guided missiles, too.
Yeah.
Enemies with guided missiles in games always piss me off.
Yeah.
Alright, there's one.
So you have very limited time to get away.
And these ones don't look so bad compared to some of them.
Yeah.
I'd say those are actually one of the easier enemy types overall in the game. This particular room is just kind of makes them a little...
Gives them a lot of coverage on you.
Yeah, there's not stuff to hide behind in here. Oh man, you want to start a cult though? Like I don't know. I think we could be pretty successful.
I feel like I'd be a good cult leader. Like,
We can make like a shitty sci-fi story and use that as foundation for our system.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
We're all on over.
that's true. And shit, I think our books would be better.
Honestly, we can definitely come up with better ideas than that guy.
Geno and like volcano ghosts.
Oh,
You know, Volcano Ghost sounds cooler than it actually
it
is.
does.
Yeah, it does. Because the volcano ghosts just make people sad.
Yeah, they just make people sad. They don't actually do anything.
Oh, I died in a volcano. Aren't you anxious about your mortgage payment?
Especially if you just get a machine that sucks them out of you.
Yeah,
Like, there's not even really a threat there. It's just like call the Ghostbusters and you're fine.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, honestly, can we just get the Ghostbusters in to deal with the Thetans instead? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
why do I have to take the e-meter test? Like, just get me a vacuum cleaner and suck this ghost out of me.
Which orifice would they stick a vacuum cleaner in to get a ghost out?
I don't know. What do you
All
think?
of them at the same time.
I was gonna say, where do you think ghosts hang out? Like, you know?
Well, like you could stick the vacuum up your butt, but then it would try and escape out your mouth. If you
Yeah.
stuck it in your mouth and try and escape out your butt. So you gotta cover all your bases.
And the,
So what you're really telling me I should do is I should get a bag and place it over my ass,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then put a vacuum cleaner in my mouth, and the ghost will flee out of my ass and then close up the
Catch you
bag.
in the bag.
Well, I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking that you might not be able to deal with the ghost effectively in that way. You might need to put a vacuum up your ass too, with the idea that maybe you could tear the ghost apart. And
Yeah,
effectively
suck it in
both
two
directions.
directions.
Yeah, okay. So
That's
is
also the
that
name of my newest adult film.
suck it in both directions? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Nothing else can be another song name on our
Suck it in both directions.
increasingly growing album here. If we ever do make a band, we are set on song and band name.
That's true.
From the tip to the base, from the base to the tip. I don't know what that means, but do that shit.
Good.
Yeah, we could definitely make some awful album. Why not?
As long as it's awful, that's all I care.
Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to produce something of quality here.
You're not going to be the Eminem of weird sexualized music?
I think Eminem was the Eminem of weird sexualized music. But no, I think I'm good, man. There are already a number of ways that I strive to destroy my reputation on a regular basis.
And one of those ways is in this show.
Yeah, that's what I come on here, Sage, just to drop horror on your fans.
The Ford. Hey, we did get another follower just yesterday. Actually, we're up to 14 now.
Sweet.
Actually, since I was playing a game, I got a raid from that same guy that did it before.
Oh, yeah,
I actually had like 7 people watching for like a half hour, and sadly, I got a migraine and I had to end it early. So,
No, it's-
Yeah,
Oh,
both
my-
times those raids have come with like the worst like coincidental timing.
right, like at first it was like, oh, this is great because like I don't have to go anywhere, and like in the middle of like when I just started, and then that happened. So
yeah, it's too bad.
it was annoying.
Sometimes the universe is just working against you.
It fucking was, man. It fucking was. Okay.
Bloody spam calls.
And, hey, Ulysses, did you know that your extended car warranty is about to expire,
For the
man?
car I don't have.
What? Yeah, for that car. Dude, don't you know that your invisible car's warranty is about to expire?
Yeah. Just like the college debt that I paid off 10 years ago. I still have money to pay off.
Yeah, but what about that sweet cruise that you won, dude?
Oh, what cruise was that? Was that the one to Iceland so I could see the one windmill?
Yeah, dude.
Did I ever tell you about that?
No, what the fuck are you saying? Oh, no, you did tell me about
Okay,
that.
I
Yeah,
thought I-
no, I remember, yeah. No, that sounds like bullshit, dude.
Fucking spent like more than $20,000 to go see the one fucking windmill in Iceland.
Wasn't it Eisenhower's grandson or
No, that
something?
was a different one. It was the same like brochure.
Oh, okay.
advertising
Yeah.
type bullshit. Well, that one was pretty dumb too.
Who was taking you on this Iceland one then?
Nobody in particular. They couldn't even find some.
$20,000, you don't even get like some tangentially related to a celebrity person to take you on it?
No, you just go on this cruise ship and you see a windmill and you visit like the city
I'm just gonna let Rob Schneider take me to Cambodia, dude. For $10.
Okay.
That Eisenhower one was great, though. I mean, I do
Yeah,
enjoy
that
that
was
the
just
Do I actually
massive.
have to
grandson
fight the boss again to go through
the grandson of Eisenhower is just riding on his granddaddy's coattails and is an Eisenhower. He's a historian who specializes in Eisenhower studies.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like you shouldn't just
okay.
specialize in knowing shit about your grandpa. Like, I can specialize in knowing shit about my grandpa.
Well, your
Like,
grandpa was a
Mickey
president.
particularly?
yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, it just, it's one thing to go around and be like, like that would make you cool at the office, right? You'd be like, John's grandpa was Dwight Eisenhower, the fucking president. And you'd be like, that is pretty crazy, man. That's cool. And then you might
People
go
must
up.
be like, wow, John's working here?
That's a good question.
How the mighty have fallen.
But I mean, you might go up to him and be like, whoa, what you remember about your grandpa? But like,
She says,
are you really an expert?
say it was true.
Like, how much are you just being like, I'm related to this guy, so I know a lot about him?
Right. I do think it's pretty lazy.
Hey, he knew enough to run his own cruise line where you'd spend $15,000 to listen to him jabber about his granddaddy.
No, what he knew enough to just like skate by on just memories about his grandpa, dude.
Endless song bleeding out into space, the inescapable ascent. Hyperion waiting upon the spire bound to an organ. I heard his music again. South the boss.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Also, that's the entrance to the 6th area, but we can't go in the
Can't
water
go
yet.
in the water yet? Okay.
There's literally every level in the game. There's been like health items and shit, like in like areas filled with water, but I have not been able to like make use of it all because I'm pretty sure that's like beating the 5th boss is what gets you the upgrade to where you
You can go underwater. Yeah, that makes sense. So what's this, the 5th?
So Stargate
Oh,
to
God.
Area 5.
That's Stargate.
Not actually Stargate. It's okay.
You love Richard Dean Anderson, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, man, I'm more of a Stargate Atlantis, man.
Man, what's the fucking difference?
What happened in I only know SG-1. What happened in Atlantis?
I
Did they
remember
actually go to Atlantis?
There were aliens that, like, suck you off with their hands. There's Atlantis, obviously. It's like a city on another planet that rises out of the ocean conveniently when humans show up.
Wait, so Atlantis isn't on Earth?
No.
Why?
Because, it's just like how ancient Egypt wasn't on Earth.
But ancient Egypt was on Earth.
Yeah,
No,
ancient
man.
Egypt was on Earth.
In the Stargate franchise, they established that ancient Egyptian culture was actually influenced and or created
Okay,
by,
well that's horseshit.
Oh no, he
by a
is.
group of aliens.
Yeah, he is right. He is
All the
right.
Egyptian gods are actually these alien
Yeah.
lords that have lived for thousands of
Yeah,
years.
because it's Stargate. Stargate is where a lot of the like ancient aliens lore comes from.
Do you think that's really what, like, it's just people saw a lot of Stargate and we're like, shit, we could get people to watch a History Channel show where we say the same thing?
I think that's what the
Yeah.
experts did their research.
But they just watch so much of Stargate?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I also think ancient aliens, like, I don't want to be too conspiracy minded, but I do think Ancient Aliens is designed to discredit people who have questions about like how advanced our ancestors were, and then to make them sound fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because of Ancient Aliens, right?
Uh-huh.
If you're like, I don't know if with the available technology at the time or with what we know about like the abilities of people in ancient societies that they could actually build some of these megalithic sites.
Uh-huh.
My argument, and I think that there's a point to be made there, my argument would be there's a good chance that our ancestors had knowledge that we don't know that they had.
Well, I mean, we actually know that for a fact. I mean, there's Roman concrete that we still don't know how to replicate.
Right, but I'm just saying things as far as like mathematical equipment or something like they had that, they found that what do they call that, the Antikythera device or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But when you start saying that stuff, be like, I don't know if our ancestors could have built something of this mathematical precision just using, like ropes and logs.
I mean, I
Well,
don't.
it's because they. Well, it's probably because the math. They had some knowledge of, or some understanding of like a math or
Yeah,
something,
but we also don't like. I think it's more just we have lost a lot of things to history.
Right.
But just that I really do believe that they must have had some more advanced graphing tools, more sophisticated architectural design, maybe like forms of calculation and things like that. I mean, the pyramids fit the golden ratio to a T.
Yeah.
Right.
Like nobody. I mean, like today we would even have some trouble managing to pull that off. Like you would need to like model that in a computer and be extremely precise.
Right.
Well, everybody forgets though. I mean, a lot of people back then, across almost every culture on Earth, were master astronomers.
Yep.
They could predict extremely accurately the movement of the stars and planets in the night sky, and that's how they based like so much of their cultures on. And that takes a lot of mathematical skill and ability to calculate shit.
Right, and I mean, with how good they were at that, I think there probably was some method of keeping track of that over time that was pretty sophisticated.
That we
just don't know.
Yeah.
But when the problem with shit like Ancient Aliens, as soon as you're like, well, I don't know if there's that, or maybe our ancestors were more advanced than we give them credit for, and things like that, then people will be like, whoa, you think aliens built the pyramids? And it's like, no, dude, like, calm down, all right? Just have some...
Ancient Aliens.
Yeah,
That's
Ancient
what
Aliens.
people always think you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get the... I don't understand why people are so eager to discredit our distant ancestors. I mean, ancient people weren't dumber than people today.
No.
They had less educated on certain subjects.
They had less accumulated knowledge, which makes perfect sense because we have now accumulated... Yeah, it was earlier in time, so...
And I think it is often underestimated how much knowledge was accumulated through oral tradition. And when we're dealing with things like the pyramids and Stonehenge and other ancient colossal constructions, a lot of that probably came from some kind of oral tradition of how those calculations work.
Right.
Because, like, you know, obviously the Stonehenge, I don't think the people who made that even had writing. And with ancient Egypt, you know, they already had a fairly advanced level of architecture even before their writing system had been fully developed.
Right.
I mean, hell, there's ancient structures in Egypt that predate a lot of the major dynasties that were made entirely out of wood and were, you know, extremely architecturally advanced for their time.
No, I believe
the
that.
Sphinx, they're pretty sure that is older than Egypt itself, even.
Yeah, where they talk about some of the weathering patterns.
Yeah,
the
weather effects so like the degradation of the Sphinx makes it appear as though the Egyptians created a new head onto the statue of a body that existed like long before that even.
Because it's not so much the Sphinx itself. I mean, there is some weathering patterns on the Sphinx itself, but the weathering patterns on the pit that they carved the Sphinx out of, because they carved the Sphinx down.
Right.
Some kind of monument of some kind there before.
No, they like kind of excavated around the Sphinx to create it. But the erosion patterns on there suggest like heavy rainfall, which would suggest like anywhere from like 10 to 14,000 years ago. Was when the Sphinx was made, based on the weather pattern. I mean, and of course, I mean, you have archaeologists who call complete bullshit on that too.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting enough idea, and I haven't seen anybody. I've seen historians just say like, no, that's impossible, and give all of these reasons. Give all of these reasons why it's impossible. I haven't heard a good explanation for why those weather patterns would be there. Just basically people just saying like, no, that's not possible. But I haven't heard a good explanation for where those weathering patterns came from.
An actual discussion on the topic. Oh shit! This fucking little cluster motherfucker ass.
And do you know who Graham Hancock is?
I know he's got a funny name.
Is Talking fan?
No. Graham Hancock is is
Well, like John Hancock, who signed the Constitution with his cock. Famously signed the Constitution with his penis.
just teabagging the Constitution, dragging his dick around.
That's actually how all the founding fathers delivered their
I definitely.
John Hancock just had the biggest dick. That's why his signature is the biggest.
I hate these guys. They fucking teleport.
Oh shit.
I definitely believe Ben Franklin would have done that if they'd let him get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Ben
Are you
Franklin.
kidding?
Ben Franklin said some amazingly insightful things about sex.
He was a fucking massive sex fiend.
He was like one of the biggest horn dogs in
Well,
recent history.
I mean, he got syphilis
In time?
from all the banging that he was doing.
Well, that was easy to get.
Yeah, but I mean, he definitely got it, and I'm sure he spread it.
Yep.
Oh fuck.
Whoa,
Get right up in your face.
They do have one-hit kills in this almost.
Oh, motherfucker. Oh, good thing there's
They
just
gave you
a
a
tiny
bit
little bit of help
Yeah,
to be had.
tiny ass little bitch health.
No, I think I learned from Assassin's Creed that Ben Franklin advocated having sex with older women because
Oh
their
shit,
bodies.
that's another one.
Oh my!
But yeah, go on, Alex.
Advocated having sex with older women because he said their bodies held up much better than their faces, and you'd be surprised how good those tits still look. That was basically the claim that he made.
Ooh, shit. Well, now I need to drop anything.
Nice. Well, you did good, man.
Whew.
But that's the kind of wisdom the founding fathers could drop on you, you know.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, he also wasn't he also the one who wanted our national bird to be the turkey?
Yeah. Well, he claimed through just horrible logic that the eagle was not an admirable bird because it mostly just scavenges off of other things' kills. And it's kind of a piece of shit, I guess. Was basically his claim is that the eagles are just not good people, so like they shouldn't be our national bird. And then he advocated
I like that argument. Though. The eagles are not good
people. But then he tried to make all these arguments for why like the turkey was a noble creature, and I was like, you know, I'd rather have just kind of a scummy piece of shit national bird than like a literal retarded one.
I don't know. I mean, based on the size and general lack of
There we
knowledge,
go.
I think the turkey would have been a good fit for representation in America.
just obese and ignorant.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I hope the founding fathers were aspiring for more than we ever accomplished.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's not like the founding fathers are all that great.
No, but still, I can't imagine that this is, you know.
what they were looking for.
I just fucking up.
Yes, he is. Damn it!
Shit.
We got so far that time.
That sucks, dude.
Damn.
The game really does just like steal your dreams a little bit.
A little bit, man, a little bit. Damn it! All right.
Alright, you'll make it this time, man.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Even Celine agrees with them.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
What's our last name?
I don't.
Is it Dion?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I don't. As far as I know, I don't think the character has ever given a.
Okay, it's Dion.
All right.
Wherever you are. Can we sing that, Sage? Can we all sing that song?
Yeah,
You know the words in that
I don't.
text.
I genuinely don't actually.
Come on, Sage, you're the best singer out of all of us. You gotta
Yeah,
I
come on, man.
just. Well, okay. When did that been true?
Come
Well,
on.
second of all, I genuinely don't know.
Yeah,
the
you
words to
know that song.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
like,
seen something.
it's like,
do it every day.
yeah, you do. It's like whatever you want. Shit.
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Near, far.
You can't. We could get a copyright strike if you actually play it, but you can sing
Yeah, I
it.
know. I'm gonna figure Titanic
look
song.
up the lyrics.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Sage sing it. My heart
I
will go on.
can't. I don't know what the lyrics are.
Well, he's giving you.
I'm giving you the lyrics.
Okay, but why?
Okay. Near. See, sing with me, Sage. Near, far, wherever you. What?
Something.
You're the fucking terrible Sage.
Come on, Sage, we believed in you.
Yeah.
This is what you reward us.
Why? Why did you believe in me? That was stupid of you.
As me and my American Idol co-host, man, really just want to like say something awful
It's
to
just not
you.
doing it for me, dog.
Yeah, that was fucking dreadful. And you should be
I wanted to
embarrassed.
pummel you with the manhole cover. Ah. Fuck you, lamb jellyfish. I mean, I'll try, man. I'll try. I'll like half read what you're saying.
My ears have taken more abuse than the Jackson 5. Simon Cowell is a douche.
Tommy Cowell is a douche.
And not like a fun douche like Gordon Ramsay, just like a douche.
Just a douche.
Yeah, just
Like,
a
that's their
douche.
job.
Yeah, but Gordon Ramsay is a fun douche. You know, like, why can't they find a different fun douche?
Yeah, why couldn't it have been Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, why couldn't it be Gordon Ramsay?
Get out of my fucking kitchen! What are you? Somebody sings like a song and then he gets up on stage and he goes, what are you? An idiot sandwich.
Dude, when he put the bread on the side of that chick's head, I was like, damn, man, that's so mean. It's like fucking high school bully shit.
Man, that laser turtle got it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, seriously.
Oh fuck, what was that?
Basically what this game should be called. This game should be called, oh fuck, what was that? Ah, fuck you. No, don't do that. God damn it. It is. It's like 3D Cuphead, but with like Dark Souls fucking backtracking.
We should have made this like a Hotline Miami where you get hit once and you're dead.
That
like
would be
this.
some bullshit.
I feel like
That
there's-
works in Hotline Miami because it's a relatively small level that you're having to
Yeah,
do.
everything goes by very quickly.
Yeah. Alex, have you ever played Hotline Miami, or do you know what?
yeah,
that game is?
just the littlest bit. You showed me like a
Years,
little bit of
probably
it
in high
years
school
ago.
at this
That
Yeah,
was a long time ago.
That's a great fucking game, though.
Yeah, it is.
they should call this game "There and Back Again and Back Again and Back Again and Back
Returnal
Again."
does kind of cover that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean to some degree.
Yeah, eternal. You're returning eternally. That's
Oh shit.
Fuck. Just wanted that little bit of health.
You came in with less health than you grabbed.
I know. I know. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, I think Returnal is a dumb-sounding name, but it accurately describes what you do. I mean,
yeah.
it's not a bad name in that basic sense. I just think it sounds kind of stupid when you say it.
It's what it says. The game is what it says on the tin.
How long do you think kids are gonna have any concept of what a tin is?
They don't already.
Because things aren't coming in tins anymore.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm telling you, they already don't know what that means.
Okay.
Like, for a fact, they don't know what that means.
Because I mean, like at this point, the only thing coming in tins is like those Danish butter cookies people buy for Christmas and shit.
Sardines.
And kids do not get that.
No, I think they're coming in like foil packets,
Really?
like tuna.
Yeah, the world is changing. I don't like change.
I remember when things came in tins. All right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
I remember when a candy bar was 25 cents.
I remember when the laptops had a print screen key on them. What'd they do to that? That shit pisses me off. Now I gotta use a snipping tool.
I got laptops full of print screen.
You got a print screen key? I don't know. My newer laptop didn't have one. I
Look
was
at you,
gonna
just
say.
got a shitty laptop.
That's a fair point.
Soon laptops are gonna be like those phones that explode when you try to use them.
Exploding laptops.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was having a fun time learning about the ambulance system in America and how it's generally fucked.
The ambulance system?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a horrible system. You know how
What,
many people
just-
have to have like bracelets on them that like with like debilitating health disorders?
Yeah, it says don't take me to the hospital.
Yeah, don't call an ambulance because
Yeah, because it
I'd rather
costs
just
five. It's
die
like an
than-
immediate. It's an immediate $500 charge or whatever in most places to get an ambulance.
And then way more if it actually takes you to the hospital. And there's this one case that I heard about where this chick was pregnant and she was about to give birth like a week earlier than scheduled.
Yeah.
And so her boyfriend put her in the car and they drove off, trying to get to the hospital. But they ended up not making it all the way to the hospital.
Shit, yeah.
And they got right outside of it, right? Like 200 feet away or something.
The baby just on the car.
Yeah, she had to give birth in the car, and
That sucks.
there happened to be some EMTs outside that helped them get in an ambulance so they could drive her the rest of the way to the actual hospital intake.
And she got charged for that.
They got charged something like $30,000 once for her and then again for the child. Just the fact that there's two people in the ambulance.
Oh my god.
That's such a fucking scam. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, the healthcare system is just fucked. I don't know what greedy bastard designed that shit in this country, but it's out of control.
And then the ambulance workers aren't getting fucking paid, so they don't make much money.
No, they don't. They don't get paid very much.
They don't have health insurance either.
What?
They don't have health insurance. Yeah, it's not offered. I mean, there might be some companies that offer it, but the majority do not.
Wow. How
So-
can you work in the healthcare sector and not have health
Like, you'd think
insurance?
that'd be one of the perks of a job like that.
I just feel like you would assume that you would get that.
Nope.
That's fucking
And
ridiculous.
there was one company where apparently the EMTs were encouraged by the supervisors to steal supplies from hospital emergency rooms so that they could save money on buying supplies to ambulance.
Wow. I believe that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, man.
And apparently, ambulances aren't considered essential services.
What?
So, like, were they not having to go to work in the pandemic?
I mean,
Like,
I don't know about the pandemic specifically, but I know that for a lot of
I bet they were considered essential services when they were deciding what they could close down and couldn't turn.
yeah, that's probably true. But I know that they're not given the same sorts of benefits that police and hospital workers and firefighters get.
Yeah. Even though they get attacked like they were cops.
That's ridiculous.
And despite the scammy behavior and underpaid employees, a lot of these companies aren't actually making very much money, and so as a result, a lot of them are shutting down.
How are they not making money?
People aren't calling the ambulance because they're
Oh,
charging
yeah.
too much.
Right. Yeah, but then why don't they lower their prices? Like, how is that not the solution? Lower our
Because
prices and then people will call.
they're stuck in one of the classic traps of business, which is when businesses decide to charge unattainable prices,
Right.
kill their market share, and then refuse to lower prices because they're already skating on razor thin margins. And that's how businesses die,
Yeah.
when you refuse to recognize market conditions. So
There are places in rural America now where you might not be able to get an ambulance in the near future.
wow.
Wow, you just literally can't even get one.
Yeah. Or if you can, it would take an unreasonably long amount of time to get to you. So, better hope it's not an actual emergency.
It's like when your pizza shows up cold. But
Your body shows up.
yeah,
It's your fucking cadaver.
And apparently things are so bad that people are calling Uber and having it be like a replacement ambulance service for them.
Oh my
more
god.
affordable at least. Jesus.
I don't know, man. Not with the Uber prices where they are these days.
No, they're going up, yeah.
Yeah, they're
They might be
bad.
going up, but they're
I
not.
mean, they're not
as expensive as
ambulances,
ambulances.
but in some places, Uber rides that used to cost like $30 are costing $120.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane.
And the thing is doing that to save money on an ambulance might end up being a trap because you could get in an Uber because, I don't know, your friend was having undergoing cardiac arrest or something, right?
Right.
And so you just tell them to take you to a hospital. They'll get to the hospital, and then the hospital will be like, oh shit, we don't have a cardiac clinic here. We're gonna have to take you to another hospital. So why don't we'll put you in this ambulance.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Wow.
Wow, sneaky.
Sneaky sons of bitches.
Yeah.
These ambulance drivers are like, the only drivers like that who would actually know about different hospitals and what clinics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can Google that shit.
Yeah, they show people in European countries like the prices for staying at a hospital. Some like, and they literally don't believe you. they literally don't believe you that's how much it costs.
Yeah, I know, it's out of control, man. There's a. It's just the way
One of our
shit.
old dead bodies.
It's the way shit in America is, dude.
It's bad.
Not good.
No.
Pretty fucking bad.
Bad part is I'd still rather live here than most places.
Hey, man.
That's also sad, right? Like, it's like...
I do, I used to make fun of people for being like, oh, America, freedom, and shit like that. But you see what's going down in, like, Australia right now with the military on the streets, and you'll be like,
Okay,
sucks,
well, maybe.
but it does feel freer.
Yeah, it might suck, but, like...
America continues to decline, but the rest of the world is declining so much more.
Oh my God. Yeah. Denmark's got their vaccine passports up. Australia's got the military on the street. In Pakistan, they're shutting off your SIM card if you don't get vaccinated. It's just literally shutting down your ability to communicate with...
Okay.
Oh, it's just to punish people for not getting
It's
vaccinated.
literally just to shame them and punish them and make them feel like they're second-class.
Well, and also prevent them from being a functioning member of society. Can you be a functioning member of society these days without a cell phone?
No, I mean, everything's connected to that. So.
Especially in a third world country where your cell phone probably is your only connected device.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you're literally like, oh, no more email, no online banking, no filling out forms. Like,
Yeah, you're not allowed to go to the grocery store and get food either.
Mm-hmm.
In some of these places. Like, you
Yeah.
literally just aren't allowed to go anywhere that sells
do
food.
work, be able to contact your supervisor.
yeah, well, you gotta get vaccinated, man. That's why, that's really why, that is the whole reason I got vaccinated, was I was like, alright, well, I'm not being, like,
I'm not being
the fucking
that.
underclass of society, as they
Untouchable.
supposed. Yeah.
Yeah, like when that inevitably does happen to a more significant degree here, I'm not going to be one of the people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just wait till they're going to have all these mandatory like booster shots that you're going to have to get.
But I didn't get one of the retard vaccines.
Yeah, but they'll try to reword it to be like, oh, well, you didn't get the right vaccine. You got to get one.
They do kind of do that already.
Yeah.
With the Johnson & Johnson.
don't.
That's kind of already a thing. Which is part of why I feel like it was the right choice.
Yeah, the more they hate on it, the more confident I become that I made the right choice.
Yeah.
That's why, like, as soon as they announced the side effects for Johnson & Johnson, I was like, they wouldn't do this if it was part of an evil conspiracy theory.
Well, they wouldn't tell you what was wrong with it.
They wouldn't suspend being able to get it if it was part of their master
Yeah, if
plan.
they really wanted everybody getting it, then yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't have spread all that FUD.
And it's not like the other vaccines don't have their own side effect problem.
Yeah, right. But they won't cancel them for those side effect
No,
problems.
they haven't yet.
Even though it's causing, like,
Worse
what's that,
problems.
myocarditis? Like, permanent heart damage?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it happens more frequently.
Yeah, there were 6 blood clots. There's at least 300 cases of myocarditis. It's just like, no, it's
So
fine.
6 versus 300.
Yeah,
And those were all,
permanent heart damage is
if I remember
fine.
correctly, a lot of those were in pretty relatively young, healthy people too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
a fair number of those people were like military personnel.
Oh no, it's basically just young men.
Yeah.
Like men under the age of 25 are getting affected by this myocarditis shit right now. Yeah, the military's actually had more severe reactions to the vaccine now than
People
they've
in the
had
military?
the military,
The
yeah.
military's opinion on it, or people in the military have had side effects, you're saying?
Yeah, people in the military have had side effects. But more people in the military have been, like, seriously harmed by the vaccine than died of COVID.
Wow.
Because, I mean, everybody in the military is too healthy to die of COVID.
Right.
Well, we until we get some more fun, exciting new strains of COVID.
Yeah, they're starting to come fast and furious now, man. The whole Greek alphabet's about to drop.
Oh man, we got Delta Plus. I can't wait for Delta Business Class.
Ooh, Delta Plus. I didn't hear about Delta
You didn't know
Plus.
about Delta Plus?
No, is that the new streaming service? Oh, Delta Plus is out there now. Oh, nice, nice.
I assume you heard that.
What's
heard about
plussed
that.
up?
What's different about
What's
it?
plussed up about it?
I don't remember the difference between it and regular
Okay.
Delta.
Okay.
But
They probably just slapped a new skin on it or something.
It's a loot box version.
Yeah.
But did you hear that in England they reintroduced herd immunity?
They're bringing herd immunity back.
Yeah.
Well, that did not work out for
I
Justin.
thought they were getting vaccinated.
Well, from the new variant, they want to try herd immunity again.
So they're just saying.
Well, wait, are they just admitting the vaccine doesn't work now?
that what
Like,
they said?
we just coming to the conclusion now that we're back at the beginning of this whole thing?
Yeah.
You know how much like
Well, what was the point of getting vaccinated?
just
then, right? Like,
pressure and just like people like just being shitty.
Right.
That like made me realize that I had to take the vaccine because the real disease are these smug assholes telling me I gotta take it. That's what I vaccinated myself against is their stupid fucking smug criticism.
I hope you got your vaccine passport though, because they're going to be checking that.
Hey, Denmark's already doing it.
I got the little card, so
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
that like says I got it, but like, god damn it, do I not want to keep that?
Just like show that when you walk into places.
That's so. Oh my
I think that's
god.
your social security number. You have to enter that in every time you do anything important.
Yeah.
Hey man, they're starting to come up with these convenient little like tattoo QR barcodes.
Ooh,
That you
barcode
could-
tattoos. That's
yeah.
not dystopian sci-fi.
Yeah,
at all.
but that so you wouldn't have to keep that little
that
card,
wasn't
Sage.
literally a thing in Black
Yeah,
Mirror.
Sage, they could just come up with a little price gun and scan the back of your head like Hitman, like you have barcode in the back of your head.
You guys
And they
think it's
tell you-
weird that no one ever like points out that he's got a barcode on the back of his head? No one ever like is like, hey, this guy's kind of suspicious. He's got a
I think
fucking
this guy's a
barcode."
product.
But no, I don't want that. I don't want
What?
that.
But then you wouldn't have to bring your card everywhere, Sage.
Yeah.
Imagine
I
the
know, but-
convenience, dude.
You just
Like, man, I've got enough Jewish blood in me that I would have been getting shoved into the ovens in one time period. I don't need it to be happening in another one.
But Sage, here, okay, you know what? Fair point, right? You don't want everybody to see your barcode, right?
So what if they put it
No,
on
that's
your ass?
embarrassing.
What?
What if they put the barcode in your anus so they have to stick the price gun up there?
And that would be less embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be less embarrassing. He just said he'd love that. That's what I heard.
Those are the words that came out.
You think it would be less embarrassing to have to drop your pants in a store while they anally probe you with a fucking RFID chip reader?
Yes, I do.
Like, yeah, every grocery store is going to have a PSA.
I was just saying we could pop a quick microchip in you, dude. And,
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, that way we can track
Yeah.
movement.
yeah, dude, like a fucking wandering dog.
I love, don't you guys love the people's reaction when you talk about, like, when you do talk about, like, tracking and stuff like that, people's reaction is like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, they're already tracking you. Haha, I'm okay with it. Like, that half
Yeah.
the time, that's the reaction. Is
That
like,
also shows you that these people.
They are already tracking you.
It also
But-
shows
but
you.
their reaction is to be so nonchalant, like, well, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, it's like, well, they're already doing it, so, like, I
Well,
guess
it already-
it's fine that they're doing it.
It already
Seems
shows.
to be the argument.
It shows you how much people have accepted, like, have really become to believe their phone is like an essential appendage of theirs.
Yeah.
That if they found out the government was like specifically tracking them, they just accept it instead of throwing their phone away. Like they can't see the difference between it being like inside of your body and being in your phone because they can't imagine like.
Not
If the government was trying to murder them, just throw your phone away. Like,
Well, I mean, we just discussed, like, people in Pakistan, for a lot of people,
Yeah.
it is essential, you know?
well, it definitely is essential to live in society. I'm just saying, if you're trying to flee the government because they were tracking you or something, the idea that you couldn't, at least it's not inside your body, it's just your phone.
Right, you could throw it away
Sure,
if, you
yeah.
if you were going on the run.
Yeah.
Right, like you could throw it away. Damn.
This game does put you through a fucking grind.
It does, then.
Did you guys hear about how Israel had like hacked a whole shitload of phones for prominent people around the world?
Are you talking about that Pegasus shit?
Yeah.
Of course it was fucking Israel.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, no, they think, well, actually, the whole Pegasus thing, one thing they're starting to figure out, because they found it on all these journalists and celebrities' phones and all these prominent people, they found it on their phones.
Yeah.
But one thing they're starting to come to the conclusion of is that it's kind of a coincidence that they found it on all these important people's phones, because that's where they were looking.
Right.
But this spyware might be way more widespread than we think. And some of these celebrities, like some of these people were intentionally targeted. Some of them just got caught up in like a kind of mass targeting. And there's a lot of regular ass everyday people that nobody would care about that also have that Pegasus spyware installed on their phones.
Yikes.
So,
Do we know how it was getting installed on? Like what? Like how this
like
was?
a particular app that they had found like a back door into the security system.
they had actually, it was the Pegasus one, I think, if I remember correctly, is really crazy because they could hack your phone by placing a phone call to you, and you wouldn't even have to answer the phone.
Oh.
You could ignore the call. By
show.
making the call, they had already gotten enough access into your phone to hack it. So, yeah, they could just place a call that you don't answer, and they'd still have access to your phone.
So there's just literally nothing you can even do to protect yourself against that. There's nothing.
No, I mean, they've only just discovered it now. I haven't heard of anybody, like, offering a solution to get it off your phone, or even to, like, easily tell if it's on your phone.
Right. That's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're all getting spied on, dude. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The truth is, like, unless you're a person who matters or, like, is part of an organization or something like that,
right.
There's so much fucking data to crunch through that it's like they don't care about you.
Right, they're not actually looking at every individual
care
person.
less.
They probably have like computers set up where they look for certain keywords and phrases that might be important, security purposes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they just, target whatever users where those things come up.
Right.
I definitely think that sometimes I talk about stuff, though, that would be in those keywords.
That's possible. I still think they don't have...
Three people
they don't
who are
have...
watching our stream right now are actually Israeli spy bots.
Probably. Shit, why not, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There is some weird stuff in the world, man, that is for sure. We're at just a weird time now. I do think these unvaccinated people, man, they're about to, like, find out what the wrath of humanity is like, dude. Like, especially, I think a lot of these vaccinated people are going to be real bitter as they find out that, like, the vaccine was basically useless. And then when they turn and try to figure out who to blame, they're going to blame the unvaccinated for sure.
Instead of blaming the fucking
pharmaceutical. Well, if they blame the pharmaceutical company, that would require taking some responsibility for it yourself.
Right.
Because you'd have to be like, oh, I chose to believe this stupid pharmaceutical company.
Right.
Now, if you try to act like the Delta variant was caused by unvaccinated people, which is nonsense, which, I mean, I guess is true, but it developed before the vaccine even fucking existed in India, so...
Right, so it's not...
And you, as a vaccinated person, can catch and spread it, so even if the country was 100% vaccinated, it'd still be fucking spreading right now. But, I mean, they'll blame the unvaccinated, because at least the unvaccinated, blaming the unvaccinated is probably the only option where, like, you wouldn't have to accept any personal responsibility for the vaccine failing.
What we know people always want to do.
No, that's
not accept personal.
That's the most important. That is the most important thing to most people is being able to not admit that you were wrong.
Yeah, you gotta pretend that you're completely infallible.
Mm-hmm. I think if nothing else, if the vaccine really is as worthless as it's starting to seem like it is, like, you can catch it, you can spread it, you can still die from COVID.
Right, I mean, yeah.
So if it's as worthless as it seems like it is,
Well,
I think they might kill the unvaccinated people just because of how smug the unvaccinated people are going to be. Like,
I mean, I'll be smug about it, even though I got vaccinated, because I still said. I mean, still said. I do think that we're going to run into this problem.
Mm-hmm.
I said before the vaccines were even available that this was going to fucking end up being exactly what happens. As soon as that vaccine exists, you make an effort to vaccinate not only your own population, but every third world country on the planet. A mutation will eventually grow, no matter what you do, right?
Yep, and avoid the vaccine.
And and then something that is going to overpower the vaccine and just will eventually exist.
Right.
So,
and we've been vaccinating people for 6 months, and it's already useless.
Right.
Well, I mean, the thing is that COVID spreads so quickly. And
Right.
It's already so widespread. I mean, there's going to be so many mutations, you can't track all of them.
Yeah, right. Well, and I don't understand. The arguments right now make no sense. The logic, everybody's so mad at the unvaccinated people.
Well, but then they're
also
people
telling
are getting
you
the message that it's not worth it because now we're
now vaccinated people are catching it. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, why would you, if you're unvaccinated, why would you get it now when you're seeing vaccinated people just get it anyway?
Right.
Right.
But
How does that make any sense?
Yeah. And they've been saying breakthrough COVID is rare. And I was like, really? Because 6 of the Democrats from Texas got it, and now Lindsey Graham got it. And it's like, okay, well, there's only so many prominent politicians in America, and I can think of 7 of them recently who got breakthrough COVID.
Right.
So
that doesn't seem rare.
So statistically, that doesn't seem very rare.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's I mean, I got it.
Yep. Well, I mean, I didn't want to be a second-class citizen. Everybody, all those people who are always like, you ever ask yourself who you would be, when things got really bad? Would you be a hero? Would you be Schindler? Would you be whatever? And it's like, nah, man, I just, try not to get involved.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I feel like it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I'm just a pussy like that, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just no, I'm not. Plus, it's I'm not really give a shit about the vaccines.
Right. Yeah.
I was skeptical like you. I mean, you called that much better than I did. I agreed with you at the time that I didn't know if they would work or whatever. But
so something would mutate past it.
Yeah, you really saw that coming. But whatever, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
I just know. Yeah. Well, and people are saying people want the vaccinated people to wear. So they're saying if you're vaccinated, right?
You should wear a mask.
Yep. They're saying if you're vaccinated, COVID shouldn't kill you.
Right.
That's basically what they're saying. They're saying yes, you can catch COVID, yes, you can spread COVID, but the infection shouldn't be as bad, is what they're saying.
Right.
So what they're saying is, so basically you'd just be getting kind of sick if you got the vaccine.
Right.
So it's not life-threatening to people who have been vaccinated. At least that's the one.
Wonder,
well, yeah.
COVID is you can catch it more than once. And each time it weakens you a bit more and more.
Right.
So is the vaccine actually gonna do anything about that?
That I don't know.
Right,
That's what they say, right? Is that it's not that big of a deal if you're vaccinated and you catch COVID. That might just be coping on their part because they want to make people feel like the vaccine does something.
Right.
Because it doesn't stop you from catching it or spreading it.
Right.
So now they're just saying it's like, well, it will reduce the symptoms, which is not the point of a vaccine.
No.
That's the point of medicine.
That's why they call it immunization.
Yeah.
Immune to it.
Right. So I don't know about that, but so the argument, it might be, the argument from them then is that the vaccinated people need to wear a mask to protect the unvaccinated people from catching COVID, and so. So think about that, right? All these people that got vaccinated, all these people who got vaccinated, who hate the unvaccinated so much, like despise them, are so in love with being told what to do that they're going to put masks back on to save those people's lives, even though they've been saying that they should all go and die.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, you care? Like, I don't think people even know why they're wearing. Don't think most people even know why they're putting the mask back on. They're just like, whoa.
Oh, I was told to.
Yep.
I think there are people who just like really enjoy a spanking from the government. Like,
Well, I think we've gotten to the point where there were so many generations in now that, like, I really do feel like we have gotten a whole generation and a half, maybe two, into the point that people just literally do not know how to think for themselves.
yeah,
I
dude.
don't think that's a generational thing. I think that's a thing that has plagued probably all of humanity for all of time. And, you know, we're in an environment now where people are more broadly connected, both to, you know, each other, their own communities, and to the government, and so they're easily influenced
You know
much
what-
more.
Sure.
than-
You know what makes me
I agree
furious?
with that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like you can't tell me that there hasn't been an intentional dumbing down of the, like, education system, like, very much on purpose.
There has
Like,
been, but-
even with that being true, that's, like, it's also true that, like, they have been
You know-
doing it.
you know-
That's
like,
true, but
on
I don't think
purpose.
that's a unique thing for this period of history. I mean, many
Sure.
periods of history have had dumbing down of education.
Mm-hmm.
That's true,
General
that's
lack of
true.
knowledge. I mean, look at the Ottoman Empire and what they did to the Middle East.
Right.
Well, I mean, and we
Or-
talk about history repeating itself all the
Yeah.
time, too.
Or you look at the Prussians setting up the first universal like education system in the modern era or whatever.
Yep.
And the way the aristocracy talked about what the purpose of educating the masses was, which was martial discipline, preparing them for a career in the army, making sure they were obedient civilians, like not teaching them philosophies that would make them question the legitimacy of the government. Like,
Ottoman Empire, same shit.
Yeah.
You gotta get rid of all this science and philosophy shit that was in the Middle East for centuries and replace
Yeah.
it with blind faith to Allah and, you know, unthinking loyalty to your generals and assaults.
yep. Oh
Damn
shit,
Oh shit.
that sucks.
Not a bad, not a good place to spawn either.
No.
Yeah. Well, we may not have really made any progress by the end of the stream today.
It is what it is, man. That's
It's a hard game.
kind of what this game's about.
Yeah. It's the sort of game you have to kind of
Shit.
just kind of unwind while you're playing rather than try to get any sense of achievement from it.
Right.
Like, you should kind of let that just come naturally, I think.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
But-
Shit.
But no, my beef with this specific dumbing down of society is that for the first time in human history, almost everyone on Earth, and especially everyone in this country, has access to almost all of the knowledge available to human beings. Like you think about they've always suppressed information and dumbed people down in like past generations, but where was the knowledge? In books. Okay, a lot of the times they didn't teach the population to read.
Right.
Or they burned the books they didn't want them to see.
Right.
Or they hid all the books. Like, we live in a time now where, like, you could find information. I mean, the real problem now is the overabundance of information that's not useful.
Well, that's the thing is they've kind of adapted to that by, the much greater spreading of misinformation.
Right.
So now you have all the information in theoretically available to you, but you can't actually trust the sources it's coming from.
And people don't know how to sift through that information to figure out what's the reliable information.
Well, I'm always just amazed at the way people can like read a story, like a news story or something, and like not notice like things in it that don't make sense, or not like have questions about like, okay. One of the things that frustrates me the most is to see like fact checks, and it'd be like, or like a headline where it was like so and so repeats debunked conspiracy theory, and you're like, okay, and then you go and read the article, and at no point do they explain how it was debunked, what information was used to debunk it.
It was just
right. That it's just something that they're just saying it's debunked.
Right.
But
there's certain words and phrases now that are being used to train people to automatically make the assumptions that the powers that be.
Right. Well, and a lot of people just read the headlines, dude. Like,
yeah, that's a huge fucking problem.
Like people really like just read the headline, and then they'll go and they'll say, like, "Did you hear about this thing that happened?" I'll be like, "Oh yeah, what do you think about this?" And they're like, people will be like, "What?" And I'd be like, yeah, this is what happened. It's like, oh, really? I just read the headline. And it's like, why would you even bring that up in conversation? You'd be like, oh, can we have a conversation about this fucking sentence I read? Like,
wouldn't you be embarrassed for people to know that you only read the headline and didn't?
A lot of people just say that casually, like it's fucking a reasonable thing to say, yeah.
Right, that it's normal to just not. I mean, it is normal in a way.
Well, because a lot of people have a very shallow, passing interest in any topic, really.
Right.
Yeah, but don't start a conversation about it.
Well, then how are you supposed to talk to anybody, Alex?
Have interests that you actually invest some time invest some time in, and then don't pretend to like know about something that you literally don't know anything about.
But Alex, I don't invest my time into anything.
Yeah, I look at Facebook. That's my time investment. I read headlines. That's what I invest my time in, is reading headlines. What do you say to that person? Right? Like,
that'd be like if I was like, hey man, you hear about how God said let there be light? And then you'd be like, oh yeah, what do you think of the rest of the Bible? I'd be like, I don't know, I only read the first sentence.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But like, how do you get those people?
Well, there are a lot of religious people
who have never read the Bible. That's mind blowing to me.
Common.
Like,
I'm base your fucking entire life and philosophy off
I'm not a Christian, especially not of any traditional, stripe, and I've read the Bible. Yeah. I actually don't have any real beefs with the Bible.
It's got its problems.
I mean, it's got its problems. I've got real issues with.
Do you have beef?
I have real issues with the way people interpret it and shit. But like,
I mean, the Bible does have some just shit.
It does. It does. But as far as like the idea that you would just be like, yeah, I believe everything in this book I haven't read.
Right. I mean, that's part of the problem, and how you get like really extremist opinions on stuff is that they only read a little, or they didn't read it at all, and they just heard something about it.
One of the things that bothers me about people in the Bible, especially the people who are like, the Bible is literally true. If you understand anything about the way the Bible was written and how, right, and the way that Jewish people, like ancient Jewish people, wrote, you would know that they had like different writing styles, and the different writing styles were intended for different things, and that about a third of the Bible is written in a writing style that's only used for metaphor and allegory. So like literally there's a third of the Bible that we know was not intended to be taken literally, and people are like, this is literally true.
Right. Well, then there's how much of the Bible has just been harvested from like other cultures.
Oh, yeah.
stories and mythologies.
Well, how much of the idea of the Messiah comes from Hindu mythology and Krishna and all of that.
And the fact that the Noah's Ark story is lifted wholesale from the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yep.
Well, even Jesus' resurrection and all that is Horus.
Yep. Yeah.
From Egyptian mythology.
Which, in a lot of ways, I think a lot of that stuff can point back to maybe some more fundamental truths about like inherent human needs and desires and like psychological as they like reproduce across religions, which probably which is probably more interesting and has more to say about humanity than like a like deeply wedded dogmatic like this is the only truth or whatever.
Right. I mean, from a sociological perspective, it's fascinating. Like, especially how many different cultures across the world have like blood myths.
Yep. Yeah. Right. And that's the kind of stuff where it's like, when you get to that point, you'll be like, okay, well, maybe there is a historical event of some kind that these myths have some grounding in or something like that.
Yeah,
it's not impossible, but
no.
I mean, most stories have some elements of the truth too.
Right. Well, I do I do think that that there is there's only really two answers to why there are so many crazy similarities between religions from people that are so disparate in everything.
Right.
Is either that there are some things that are so core to the human psyche that we externalize them on the outside world. Like that there are just things that are inherent to the way that we think and the things that we need to know about the world that we kind of project them almost uniformly across like all human beings on the way we perceive the world. Or the fact that, you know, I mean, as a human species, we all came out of Africa. At some point, we diverged, you know, as a group. I mean, there's a bottleneck in the human population. I don't remember how far back. It's a decent ways back, but where there were only
like 5,000.
Yeah, there were only like 5,000 humans left on Earth, which means every culture is descended from those 5,000 people.
Right.
So if something happened in human history that all 5,000 of those people experienced, then as they broke up, if it was that significant, because they would have relied on oral history, which is actually pretty good at transferring information down, because they basically force people to become computers.
Right.
Like, if you look at the African tribes that still practice oral history, I mean, they drill that shit into you word for word, like, till you'll never forget it.
Right.
Then maybe there is some kind of element of truth or shared experience or whatever from an earlier time in human history. But those are the only two reasons I can see for why there are like the similarities across all the religions.
Right. No, I mean, it's, I guess that's the thing, is people just don't seem to be okay with not knowing, too. And that's part of the problem with religion.
Religion exists in the first place. Is, you know, it's the what happens when you die. People want to know. Here's an explanation.
Right.
Right.
I just wish more people could be okay with just the basic idea that, you know, it's okay that we don't know. It's okay not to have that answer. It doesn't, you know, ruin everything.
Right.
To not have...
Also, like, yeah, and what is that, like, I don't know, are people embarrassed? Like, oh man, what are people going to think if I don't have the answers to the universe? Are they going to think I'm an idiot? Like...
Right.
No. It's okay not to know everything, man. Like, you can't know everything. There's no way. Plus, like, if you knew everything, like, life would get boring pretty quick.
True, without new stuff to discover.
Yeah, without at least some sense of mystery to life, then,
well,
it'd be basically like you already lived your entire life.
Right. Well, that's an interesting question I actually asked Michael not too long ago, but we were just talking about, like, science and stuff in general, but, like, do either of you guys think that there's a possibility of if humans survive long enough, that is, if there's ever the possibility of a point where there's nothing left to learn, and then like what does that do to the human mind, right? If there's nothing left to accomplish or to do, does that like
Well,
create a lack of drive
if
in the species?
if
Like,
technologists and kind of transhumanists and like futurists and people like that are right, then at some point we will reach the singularity.
right?
More than likely with the speed at which we're developing quantum computing and things like that, sometime in the next 100 years would be my guess.
Yeah. I think that's
I don't know, because there's certain things that, at least as far as scientific principles as we know them today go, that we can't really explain with science. Like,
Right.
we don't know for sure how the universe was created. We don't know for sure, like, if other universes exist. And
Yeah.
But in theory,
what
we
I-
could eventually know that.
Well, we
stuff
could
in the
eventually.
future.
Well, what I
just
think.
open up more questions.
What I
That's
think.
possible for sure.
What I think the potential
Oh, sure.
of the singularity is not that we know everything. I don't think we can ever know everything, because I think there will always be unknown
Sure.
unknowns. I think there will always be things beyond us, and any system we build to investigate things are only going to be able to investigate things that we could even conceive of, because we won't be able to program something to imagine things we can't imagine. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. No, I totally get that.
But
I would predict that if we're in that kind of scenario, that we'd probably see another rise of spirituality and people contemplating things that are not really scientific questions in nature, like what's
Sure.
the purpose of existence, what happens when you die, things like that. Is there a concept of a soul? And I think
Right.
people would probably find solace in that as
Sure.
a way to continue to find like some kind of purpose.
well, one of the
I think that
strange.
was an interesting philosophical,
Yeah.
like, thought
Right.
form. Like, if you could, if there was nothing left to learn, like, could we hit a point where people just have no interest in doing anything anymore?
I think our entire when we understand everything that we can understand, everything that's
Right.
possible for us to understand, or if we reach that point, I think the way that we see the world and the way that we conceive of things based on all of that information. Think about how much our perception of the world has changed because of the Enlightenment, right? Like going from like a deeply religious
Right.
dark age civilization to a scientific, more rational civilization. Like, I don't even know what living in that world would really be like.
Right.
I can't even imagine it. I really can't imagine there being a thunderstorm and then legitimately thinking that God might be angry. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But like,
Right,
but people
right.
did, like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
It's just like how people thought that, if you have like a dead body, then like flies will literally spontaneously form from that dead body. And
Right.
into the air.
Right, and I can't imagine. I can't imagine perceiving the world that way. Like, what that would even mean.
Right.
So I would assume when we understand everything, we wouldn't. Us now,
Right.
or us then looking back at us now, couldn't even imagine that we saw the world the way we do now.
Right.
So I don't even know what it would be like to exist then. One thing that's becoming increasingly clear with quantum mechanics and the study of quantum physics is that people in East Asia had a much better conception of what the world is like fundamentally than people in the West ever did.
Yeah.
As physicists try to boil quantum mechanics down into a worldview that they can actually tell people who don't understand physics,
Right.
to help them understand the world the way that
Right.
the world that quantum mechanics describe, rely a lot on Buddhism and on ideas of
Right.
Taoism and stuff, and kind of the duality of the world and kind of these kind of flow states and things like that as ways to explain that. So I don't know. I mean, what people will see the world as being like if they understood everything that could be understood.
Yeah. I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting.
No, it's a really
like,
interesting question.
What potential could that?
Yeah. I think Ulysses is right, though. I think it would probably come down to more spiritual type
Yeah.
things.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Religion has always been a strong motivator. Whatever else people say about it, I mean, it got people to do things. And I think
Right.
that kind of shit would probably be a comeback.
Right. Or we go like
Oh,
full.
hey, somebody's in the chat.
Oh,
Hello, hey, Mr. Gunny, how are you doing today? We are doing well. Just getting into some philosophy.
yeah, just
Returnal's a good game for that.
just bullshitting like we do.
What I'd be scared about is what governments would do with that kind of information and how it would feed that back into the general populace.
Right.
I wonder how much at that point we would become like a hive mind or something. You know?
Well, especially as you introduce more and more like robotics and stuff into society.
Yeah, like the real the real transhumanism type stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
genetic manipulation is another thing that's down in the future at some point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're already getting into some like early gene manipulation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's already something that's starting to exist in like maybe early forms, but
Well,
Make
nonetheless.
cats glow in the dark if we want.
The crazy thing with that CRISPR stuff is that you don't have to do that to babies. You can start doing CRISPR gene therapy to yourself. There are people
Really?
that do it homebrew, like start to screw with like their muscle mass and shit like that from home. It's extremely dangerous and 100% illegal, but
Right. But it's in theory it is possible. It's physically.
no, there are
possible.
people doing it. It's just definitely illegal.
Does it work?
It's if you know what you're doing, supposedly it works pretty well. It's easy to screw up, and you're fucking with your genes.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I could see a possible
Yeah.
future where if such technology existed, government could use it on, say, criminals to, rebrand their minds in the way they see fit.
Right. Yeah, that could be very. You could get into some really fucked up ethical shit very quickly.
I saw.
Hope you're having a good evening, Mr. Gunny. Thank you for joining us.
I saw a thing where they were talking about injecting criminals with kind of a chemical brew that would, like on an IV drip, that would make them experience 1,000 years of imprisonment in about 8.5 hours.
Oh Jesus! What the? Why?
Well, it would just slow down their perception of time so much that they would
That's
be able
awful.
to experience.
We should not do that to anyone.
Would it actually work is my question, too, because, the person's going to
Wouldn't
be
that
the
just
same.
drive someone crazy?
Well, also, wouldn't that person have, like, the same, like, age, the same, like, genetic and, what's the word? The same propensity, like, from just their endorphins and shit, to, like, commit, say, like, actions based on, like, passion or whatever that might have gotten them into that situation in the first place. And so they'd go through this horrible punishment, but not actually, be rehabilitated
I think
in any way.
the people that were advocating for it were people who really believed that like the value of imprisoning people is like long periods of contemplation of their actions and stuff like that. So they were like, if we can make it take 1,000 years, they might.
That wouldn't do anything though, because what people aren't going to contemplate, they're going to brood.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, is just come back angry and just bitter.
Prison as it is now does not fix the problem, and in many cases, it makes the problem worse.
Yeah, typically.
Because a lot of people go there for minor crimes. They're introduced into the system where they're basically treated like human garbage,
Right?
And where they have people around them that then teach them, even worse crime. And then they come out and they feel like society doesn't care about them.
Right.
They have an altered mindset from how they interacted with people in prison, and as a result, they're more likely to commit, whatever crimes.
Yeah, I think prison might accomplish what it's trying to accomplish if it could have less of like a dog-eat-dog, king of the jungle type like atmosphere, and more of like a monastic, just time to contemplate and reflect.
I think
maybe
you have to teach people like how to like meditate and do shit like that. And
Right.
Well, societies
Feel free to share any opinions, Mr. Gunny.
Yeah, absolutely. Hop right in here, man.
Oh God!
Wow.
Whoa!
Oh,
whoa!
you got wrecked,
You
dude.
got God, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, Jesus Christ! Just hide for a second.
What the hell was that?
It looked like
don't
tire
know.
flew off or something. I know that's not what it was, but that's what it looked like.
Alright,
I
there's
think
one
you must-
turret. Oh,
Did
not
you
yet.
kill whatever did that?
I don't know.
Whatever it is deserves to die, dude.
Yeah, seriously. Alright. Turret.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we're talking about reflection and meditation as a form of rehabilitation, then, you know, that could be interesting, but just this raw, get to pretend you're sitting in a box for 1,000 years isn't really going to result in much improvement.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no,
I,
not
Out
at all.
of the kind of dog-eat-dog prison system.
yeah, I know, I get that, and yeah, I don't know.
Oh man!
Fucking drone missile.
That sucks.
Wow, just those drones really pack a fucking punch.
Yeah,
Yeah. CIA ordered a drone strike.
got you good. Oh, I put you in the ground, man. I mean, it looked like you were more than 6 feet
That's
under.
from the old age death.
Oh, gotcha.
So you just see kind of random just shots of like just pieces of the time loop every time you die.
I got that.
Well, shit.
Well, start over, dude.
Yeah.
Back
That's all
into
you
the
can do.
grind.
Yeah, back at it
That's all you can
again.
do.
I believe in you.
Eventually, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. It's gonna take a lot of trying. That was a good run though there for a while.
I also think, you know, part of prison needs to be like educating people on like why what they did was wrong. And, like,
Right. Well, which also is impossible some of the time when so many of the people that go to prison didn't do anything wrong.
oh yeah, I mean if you
Right.
I mean that's part of the problem is we have a justice
Christ.
system that's perfectly happy to throw people in the trash for literally nothing.
Shit, I didn't even make it into the second room.
Well, at least
Yeah.
that means you're not too committed to that run.
Yeah, right.
That is true.
But yeah, like what about that lady? I don't remember where she was from. I want to say it was in Georgia, who got like 20 years in prison because she fired a gun in the air to scare her boyfriend away from beating her.
Yep.
She didn't hurt anybody.
No,
she didn't
she-
try to hurt anybody.
She was just
Well,
trying to protect
you
herself.
really should not fire. I'm not saying she should have got 20 years, but you really should not be firing guns directly into the air.
Actually, I'm
That's-
sorry, I misspoke. She fired it into the floor.
Oh well, at that point, fuck that. Yeah, no, she did nothing wrong at that point. The only reason I said that is that if you do fire your gun off in the air, the bullets do come down.
That's
they,
true.
They don't just go up forever.
I mean, I would point out that maybe if it was like an apartment building and she was on like the top floor, then that would be a different story.
yeah, sure.
But that
But
still wouldn't.
but no, and that's what I mean. I would say she maybe get charged with reckless endangerment or something like that.
At the most.
At the
I mean,
most,
that's-
and not even. I wouldn't even think she would serve any time for that.
Right.
But yeah, no, 20 years for and in the pursuit of protecting yourself is ridiculous.
Absolute horseshit.
That's garbage. Yeah, I don't know.
There's been a lot of people. Well, I guess from a raw numbers perspective, it's still it's still a small minority, but there have been hundreds of people who have, you know,
Just been wrongfully in prison.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In cases either because of police incompetence
Or somebody trying to make their record.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you know, somebody made a false allegation that was believed without evidence,
Right.
things like that. And there's even a number of people who were on death row and who were later found innocent.
Oh yeah. No, I got major beef.
With Kamala
With-
Harris.
Well,
I was like, she did literally
'Cause she
that
did do
exact
that.
thing.
I would just say she is one of the prosecutors who is more concerned about their record than with
About whether people are innocent or
putting
not.
guilty people in prison.
Yep. Very big guilty party.
Yeah. That's why you should never commit a crime in Japan. Got a 98% conviction rate in that country.
Damn.
So yeah, that's Japan's a nice country. It's very civil there. But damn, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the law because the court system basically is like if the cops say you did it, you did it. Like
Also, isn't Japan one of those places where it's legal for the police to torture you for information?
That I don't know.
Is it?
I think they're limited in what they can do, but I think they are allowed to. Like,
Wow.
Some torture, at least.
Yeah.
Is okay.
I mean, I know in Singapore, you spit gum on the ground, you're eligible for a caning.
Jesus.
And then I know in like Saudi Arabia, I think the police can use very abusive torture techniques to get confessions out of people. Like there's some dude who spent like a month in the jail system there, where he hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Saudi citizen claimed he did, which meant that the police basically were like, he must be guilty. And so they spent a month like torturing him. They're like ripping his fingernails off and shit.
Jesus.
Because of theft. It was only after this month of torture they're like, I guess maybe he's innocent.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's
That's what I'm saying, man. All these people complaining about America.
It's like
Not as bad as the Saudis.
Yeah,
and it's not to say that there aren't problems, because there are, but like.
but there's a lot of
Miss the problems.
no, but there's a lot of shittier places to live.
Either people say it's the worst place ever, and there's nothing good about it, or people say it's the best place ever, and there's nothing bad about it.
Yeah, it's
I like finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
Well, it's just people who try to act like there's nothing wrong with this country would be like, dude, you know there is, because I know you know at least one person who's been screwed by the system completely, because everybody does.
Yeah, it's way too common.
In one way or another,
know.
somebody went bankrupt because of their medical debt. Somebody got overcharged when they went to jail.
Yep.
Somebody got just consumed entirely by the divorce court system. Like whatever issue it is, the government screwed you over. You couldn't discharge your credit card debt. You got too much student loans for a degree that won't get you a job. Whatever it is, somebody who's been screwed over by this country. Like
you or someone.
Yeah.
And then even if you don't personally know someone like that, like, there's so many like well-proven examples of that. Like that fucking cop who got caught by his own fucking body cam planting a fucking drugs in that one person's possession.
Yeah, I do
They
remember
could
that, yeah.
have a fake conviction on them.
Are you talking about the baggie in the back, that video that came out?
Yeah.
Oh, that video actually was edited pretty deceptively, dude.
Was it?
Yeah, because if you watch the rest of the video, the guy says like the cop said, "What that bag? I just like if you watch it, he's like that bag. I just took it out of your buddy's pocket." So, like he was patting down his friend or whatever and threw that bag in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I retract that statement.
But
That kind of
cops
stuff does
definitely do plant drugs on people. Like that does happen. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that video in particular, if you watch the whole thing.
And see, this is what I was talking about earlier, though, of how media is manipulated.
I'm saying even us who know that is the case still see stuff.
Well, I
sometimes,
didn't have any reason to be skeptical of that video at all. I just saw
You just saw the whole
I
thing.
saw somebody updated and was like, "Oh, here's the full clip," because I saw the tweet go out, and then the person who tweeted out corrected their tweet and be like, "Oh, this is the full clip of that interaction."
and that doesn't happen very often.
No, I walked away from that thinking that the cop had planted the drugs on him too.
Right.
But and everybody's got an agenda. That's the problem, is that when the cops put out a video, it's deceptively edited to make it look like they didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
And then a lot of times when people who get in trouble put out the video, they make sure to edit it so it doesn't look like they did anything wrong.
Yep.
Right.
So.
And then so many times we get videos of incidents, but we don't actually have the full incident.
Right.
It's only like pieces of it.
Yeah. Well, and the police body cam footage, man, I'll tell you what, the number of times that the police have released like 5 seconds of video and claimed that's all the relevant video and the rest comes out.
Right. I mean, that's.
It shows that like the time leading up to it, tells a much different story than what they tell you. Like remember in South Carolina was that Walter Scott, the guy who got shot in the back running away from the cop?
Yep.
Yeah, when they first released the information about that and everything, they definitely did not make it seem like he was running away.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course not. I mean,
Everything these days is about how you spin shit.
Yep. Well, for whatever political purpose. You see Andrew Cuomo, they decided to resurrect that scandal out of nowhere. Which, I mean...
Which one?
Him and the sexual harassment stuff, how they had
Oh,
they had just decided to let him get away with it, but now they're trying to burn him again for it.
Because they don't want to burn him with the nursing home thing because that'll make more than just him.
Yeah, but
have to admit that they did
the
something
DOJ
wrong.
already dropped the investigation in the nursing home.
Sure,
they've
well,
already decided that
Right.
once Biden got in, it was just like, he's a Democrat though, so like.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Just like Trump did for the Republicans during his entire reign. Just like, no, not my side. We won't investigate that, no matter how heinous the shit they did was.
Right.
But no, they're bringing up the sexual harassment thing again. Like they're Biden called on him to resign.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. They're blowing him
Didn't
up
he get
now.
called on to resign before, and he just
by a decent amount of people. This is definitely the first time that Biden said anything about it.
Although, if you ask Biden, he wouldn't know that.
Yeah, he probably doesn't remember who Cuomo is.
That's true. Well, Biden wouldn't actually say that about Cuomo because what Cuomo did, and some of the behavior described, I think I've seen videos of Joe Biden doing.
Yeah, I believe it.
What, like grabbing?
Just of like inappropriate touching. Some of the things they're arguing. Some of the women are coming out and say like Andrew Cuomo like put his hand on like my lower back or my butt and then like ran his hand up my spine and I'm like I know Joe Biden's
do
done
that.
that.
Yeah, I've literally seen him do that.
So, but they brought it up out of nowhere. Like that scandal's been dead for like 6 months. Like, everybody knew that he did it.
Right.
All the women already came out. People condemned him. He just refused to resign, and then people just kind of ignored it.
Right.
But now, all of a sudden, it's center stage again. Like, Biden literally just came out and asked him to resign over allegations that have been out for, like, 8 months, a year now. Like,
so what, is he just going to say, nah, and then not resign, and then everybody...
That's what happened last time, I mean.
His defense was, hey, I do that to everybody.
Well, that's really not good. we understand how that's worse, right? Like,
no, because he said that's just the way I am. I do it to men, women, old people, young people, straight people, the LGBTQ community.
Okay, so he fucking inappropriately touches everyone. And
yeah, I know. I was like, what kind of defense is that?
Like, I rape everybody. Like.
Man, that'd be a great defense to use in court if, like, you're in there for murder and be like, oh, don't worry, Judge, if you let me go right now, I'd murder you, too.
Yeah, it wasn't a personal murder. I'd have murdered anyone that was there at the time.
I'd be like, I take offense to the idea that this was a hate crime. I murder everyone.
I mean, that's literally exactly what that argument fucking sounds like.
Yeah, no, it was total
stupid.
Total nonsense. But it just makes me wonder, originally, especially because they already used this scandal as a distraction once. They used it as a distraction from the fact that he killed all those people in the nursing home.
Right.
So now that they've blown it up again, I'm like, okay, so what do they need a distraction again? Like, they decided for months that they didn't care about these women and their claims and that they weren't going to try to get him to resign.
Right.
Why do they want him to resign now?
Right.
They resurrected this on their own out of nowhere.
Right. It wasn't like people were bringing it up and they like felt pressured.
No, I think there might have been like a renewed push from the Republicans in New York, but like
sure, but
the Democrats would ignore that. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they said. So
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to cover up an even worse scandal that's inevitably going to be revealed.
I wonder. I kind of wonder if it's not to distract from the absolute disaster of messaging that has come out around coronavirus in the last couple weeks, because the communications coming out of the White House have been trash.
You're getting shot at.
Oh, you're getting shot at, Sage.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I was checking something with the stream just to. Whoop. Good thing I had a health file.
Nice.
Although I didn't need to use it yet, but whatever. It's beside the point.
You might want to pause, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no? Okay.
Oh shit.
Pause,
Got it
dude,
again.
pause.
You really do need to fucking pause. Oh shit. That's a big dude too.
Because even CNN said that this week was the end of Biden's honeymoon period, and that it had been the worst week of his presidency so far.
That's amazing because up until now they hadn't even admitted that he had a honeymoon period.
Yeah, they said he had won the presidency.
Yeah,
Well,
that
he
he-
won press conferences and like no one, no one
yeah,
ever could
it
do.
is kind of. I mean, they've definitely pulled back on their ass. I mean, they're still kissing his ass, but my God, at the beginning, the way they were
until they
kissing
start
his ass.
directly saying Joe Biden has dementia, they're still kissing his ass.
Yeah,
as far as I'm
right.
concerned.
Yeah,
As long
right.
as they're not, dealing with the fact that he's got a lot of policies in place that are very, very bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the continuation of the border policy shit.
Right, or the
yeah.
continuation of all of Trump's bad policies.
Yep.
The thing that's blowing my mind with the border is that they are so ill prepared for this, and they have no plan in place to deal with COVID on the border. Just because they've got all these people, they don't have facilities to properly separate people and everything, that they've just stopped testing for it entirely.
Oh, well, that's
Great idea.
fucking smart.
Like, I mean, we learned early in the coronavirus pandemic that stopping people with COVID from coming in was one of the most important things you could do.
Right.
But they won't staff enough people, they won't set anything up. And then they're like, whoa, I wonder, because on the border it's a 900% increase in COVID cases right now.
Jesus.
Wow.
Because they've got people, I mean, they're packing people together like sardines.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there was that one facility that we
Yeah.
talked about a while back where that the Biden administration had put 1,000 people in a facility that had only been cleared to have 200.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was packed beyond belief during COVID.
Coming back to our discussion on tins.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Do you think people in the future are going to understand what pack like sardines means?
No,
Probably not. No, I think that term's that expression.
that's going away. Yeah, I don't think a lot of kids probably don't even know what sardines are. Yeah.
You think they don't even know what sardines are?
Yeah, it's fairly likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you really think they're eating them?
I mean, I don't eat them, so.
I don't.
Particularly good.
No, I'm not a fan. I don't mind anchovies on pizza. That's
Nah,
actually a pretty
I don't
under.
like that.
I'm going to call you a heretic for that one.
All right. I like salt.
I like
That's
salt too, but
that's
Well, yeah, but you're like Norwegian.
yeah. I was gonna say that's deep. Like that's Scandinavian shit right there. Like just pure fucking salt is.
I mean, some of you is probably just genetically made up of lutefisk.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, like I don't mind. I don't love pickled herring, but I don't mind it. But yeah, sorry, anchovies are pretty good.
I like sardines and anchovies, kind of, just by themselves. But
not on pizza, though.
Yeah.
Anchovies are pretty good on pizza, dude. No. Nah, well, whatever. Fuck you guys. I don't give a shit.
I'll agree to disagree. I'm not going to tell you you're
Alright.
wrong, but...
But you're
Okay.
wrong.
Fine. As long as we can all agree that there shouldn't be any pineapple on the pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
saw...
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, I saw a really horrific picture, actually. It was it was black and white, and it was these guys were holding an Italian-American down. So, he was forced to watch them put pineapple on pizza for the first time.
That's fucked, dude. Most like, yeah. No, I would say I got in a fight with my coworker, but we were talking about pineapple on pizza, and I was like, dude, no. The worst thing about the pineapple on the pizza is that the juice, when it cooks, gets down and soaks into the crust.
Right.
And then you just got sweet, fucking soggy crust. Which is probably the last thing I want on my pizza.
I'm sorry, but I don't want pizza to be sweet, period.
No.
I want it to be savory.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and salty.
Yeah.
Savory, salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Generally
It's
get
just
that
not-
umami flavor going on.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit. No, fuck me, goddammit.
But no, some people really do love that pineapple on their pizza.
I don't know. I mean, people do. I don't understand it, but people do.
Yeah.
It
And
doesn't make any sense to me. But
Canadian bacon is a fucking bullshit pizza topping.
it's just ham.
It is just ham.
It's just pieces of ham.
Yeah.
Like, you can call it Canadian bacon all you want. I'm not even arguing that the name is, like, incorrect. It's just, like,
You can easily
Why?
just get a package of like lunch meat ham and just sprinkle it on your pizza.
I do feel like by the Canadians calling that Canadian bacon as to be like some acknowledgement of inferiority. Just be like, this is what bacon is like in Canada. And it's like, well, there's something fucking wrong with Canada.
I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't say that that type of logic applies to everything. You know? Like, I'd say American football is probably better than football in terms of, you know, like
Entertainment value?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I can't get
players,
anything out of either of them, but
What? No. At least there's violence in American football.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of every time somebody bumps into something in regular football, they fall on the ground and flop around like babies in hopes that they can get some penalty. They get a penalty kick. like regular football just incentivizes people to be drama queens.
yeah.
Like if you get like brushed in soccer, your number one responsibility, if you're a good player, your number one responsibility is to make it look like someone shivved you in the spleen, and then beg for somebody to pull out one of those yellow cards.
Meanwhile, American footballers are getting concussions on the field and being told to walk it off.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's good at all.
No.
But, you know, it's,
It is more entertaining.
I can agree that I dislike soccer more. I still dislike both of them.
Fair enough. But you know what? The
I'm
only
just
sport,
anti-sports.
the only sport,
I'm
the
just
only
doing- just
sport,
in general, I am anti-sports.
the only sport with
like
real.
fighting and made it not just fat dudes advertising each other. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, unless olive oil advertising.
the only sport with real balls is hockey. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, they'll fuck each
They don't give
other
a
up.
fuck.
Yep.
Fighting is a tradition in that sport, and you don't and checking people and everything. Like the violence is like an essential part of that game. Like
I can respect hockey.
Isn't rugby also supposed to be pretty intense?
yeah, well, rugby's like just like a mosh pit with a ball.
Just turn a mosh pit into a sport.
like
Would they play heavy metal during
I hope
all
so.
the rugby
no,
games?
but that would be pretty
That would
sweet.
make it make-
But no, your job is basically just to link arms with your team and just smash into the other team and try to push the other team as
Yeah,
far
it's
as
like
you
the
possibly can.
phalanx, but like
Yep.
it's a sport.
Yeah. And
that's kinda cool.
no pads.
They should give you like spears and shields though.
That would be great.
No, rugby does seem to be pretty intense. And you can't throw the ball forward. You can only throw it sideways or backwards. You actually can't use the ball to move forward on the field. You have to push the other team back.
Okay.
I have no idea who said it, but some British, I think noble of some kind, said that football is a game for is a game for gentlemen played by hooligans, and that rugby is a hooligans game played by gentlemen.
Very British
Interesting.
thing to say.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly British thing to say.
No, nobody makes smug, asinine, highbrow comments like the British do.
True. I literally can't envision that. Even though you just said it, I can't envision that doesn't do anything other than a posh Oxford accent.
Yep.
Or if you think of was it the comedian Dylan Moran making
So
jokes
even
about,
though I said it in my
Well,
American
he-
Minnesota
he-
accent, you could only
No,
envision
because
that.
of his joke about British people.
Yeah,
He was
right.
talking about, it's like, you know that voice that they do where it all sounds like they're mocking you no matter what they say? It's like, you want another drink then? That's just like another drink then. They do kind of always sound like that.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Until you get to the north of England, where sounds 100% different.
I mean, there's a lot of different English accents, to be fair.
Yeah, there are.
I feel like everywhere has wild
Jimmy
Well, I
Carr.
mean, yeah, that's 100% true.
Jimmy Carr did do a great job going through the British accents. Do you remember his bit about that?
God, I don't think so.
Ah, okay. I can't do all of it, but he was explaining how to do the different English accents. I really enjoy it. He's like, he was talking, he's like, and if you're from the West Country, you just do a pirate accent. You're like, "Arr, I fucked me, mom."
So is that where the pirate accent comes from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know if Mr. Gunny stayed with us for very long.
Is he out already?
No, I don't know. He just never, whoever just never commented again.
Nah, that's too bad.
I probably got better things to do with it.
That's very likely.
Yeah.
I think everyone does.
I would hope so. But
I mean, to be honest, I never saw this as like something that like I could do because I never thought it would like why would anyone want to listen to this? But hey, people have
do.
success doing it. So,
Yeah,
fuck
whatever,
it.
man. I mean, we are good at bullshitting. Like,
If I learned anything in school,
It's
Yeah.
our greatest skill.
yeah. I mean, I mean, dude, I'd like if there's a number one problem I had in like grade school, especially like elementary school, is like I got in trouble just for talking so much.
oh yeah.
They did not like the fact that I was not listening to everything they said.
I don't know. I was always just that kid who was like, when are we going to use this in life? Like, is this
I was the kid
applicable?
that said, "We're never gonna use this." But I had a teacher one time actually admit that we wouldn't. Dude, like I was like, "Look, I have to, okay?" That was like actually the response.
That's funny. That's pretty amazing.
I'd say if I die on this run, and we'll probably just stop no matter what, just because the time
Sure.
it takes
Fair.
to get to a successful run.
Fair enough, yeah.
You know, but
Yeah, I'll
Right.
probably head out once we're done with this. So this is like a set number of semi-randomized like stages.
yeah, they once you've seen a few of them, they start to repeat for sure, but they do randomize to a certain degree.
Okay.
I think if you don't die very much, you might not see locations like reused, but
If you do, you're guaranteed to get the stages.
yeah, absolutely.
Which, I mean, is probably part of the point of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, again,
Just with what the game,
Right,
game
right,
is.
right. It wouldn't totally make the name again wouldn't make sense if you weren't coming back to the same places, right?
Mm-hmm.
turn to the Sonic the Hedgehog for a second there.
Right?
Sonichu.
Oh God.
No. I do not like Sonichu.
You don't like
I
Sonichu?
don't like Sonichu.
Dude, Sonichu is going to change the future of this country.
And
I
that
don't
may be
think
true.
Sonichu directly is going to, but its creator might.
Well, I think the creator refers to themselves as Sonichu,
Do
right?
they really?
Well, okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. I might just be assuming something I didn't actually hear. Alex, can you confirm that information?
Confirm what?
The Sonichu. Does this person actually go by the Sonichu creation? Like
Like-
Is
themselves?
their name Sonichu?
Like,
No,
do they actually
people-
ever like?
Christian, well, so So
people do that sometimes.
Yeah,
so I gotta know for sure.
Outside the
No,
realm,
Yeah.
her name is Christine.
I want to be corrected now.
Her name is Christine Chandler.
Okay.
Before transitioning, her name was Christian Weston Chandler.
Okay.
And a lot of people, a lot of people called him CWC.
CW.
No.
But no, I don't think she's ever
I made
claimed.
that up then.
I don't think she's ever claimed to be Sancho. Oh wow, nice. More high profile news sources are starting to pick up on the story.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not NBC or anything yet, but The Sun. That's one of the biggest tabloids in the UK.
What was
Daily
the one
Dot.
you said? Insider. Or
Insider.
something? Picked it up earlier.
Yep. Insider picked it up.
It's fucking weird. It's really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that. That's a thing that happened. Oh, what the fuck?
The hell?
Oh damn! What was that?
What?
What the fuck was that, dude?
I don't know. That's the first time I've seen that in the whole game.
Huh?
Perhaps that's one of the final, like, 2 bosses or something?
Oh, it has friends.
Yeah, sometimes the healing machine, like, spawns enemies.
Oh, that was creepy.
Yeah,
that was really weird. I have no idea what to even think of that. Could be one of the bosses? One of the bosses that are left, maybe?
Well, fitting that we're getting that in our last run for today.
Right?
Yeah, nice.
It's a little tease for next time.
Right. Come see who's...
Yeah, there's not any new releases coming up for a minute here, so like we'll probably just play this every Tuesday, honestly.
Yeah,
until...
see if we can get that weird pot-bellied blue dude in the chair.
I think it might have been a shit.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it had tits.
I don't know, it's pot-bellied.
I mean, a man can have tits. A man of that size can have tits.
That's fair. Could be like some sort of alien Santa Claus. I guess at the end of the game it's going to be getting to that chair and sitting in his lap.
Well,
What do you want for Christmas? Can I please go home?
and talk about fucking Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Too, Jesus Christ.
And we still got to open up dreams at some point and do that.
Oh, we absolutely, yeah. That's something I want to wait till we have like the better, more professional equipment.
Oh, sure.
Because I really feel like having the cameras and all of us with proper headsets and mics and stuff, so we can really all experience the true vitriol of Alex's.
You're really looking forward to having high-end equipment to just like film my reactions to all the fucking Gnome games.
Yes, it's something that needs to be memorialized for history, for future generations.
Why?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of opinions about Gnomes you would like to pass on to humanity. Maybe you could stop.
Yeah, I think I need about 2 minutes to leave one of those fucking like kind of time capsule videos you see in like alien disaster movies and shit like that. Just sort of be like, don't trust the gnomes. Whatever you do, the gnome is your enemy. Like,
write like a 500-page manifesto about gnome, like some sort of fucking mass shooter.
You're gonna be the Unabomber of gnomes.
I would. I'd bomb all their little hovels, dude.
Well,
you know what?
You wouldn't need much explosive.
Yeah, exactly. I could just toss M80s down their little gnome holes.
You know, I'd really like to see. Maybe we can make a game of dreams that is literally tossing M80s into little gnome houses.
That would be fun.
One of the enemies should be like little suicide bomber gnomes. That,
that's actually what I was going to say.
Maybe some Psycho Beta game where you kill
I was
going to
say I'd give like hamsters little ISIS flags. Strap an M80 to their fucking back and send them down the gnome hole, dude.
God damn, that should be a game.
That sounds like a sex act.
It does sound like a
hamsters
sex
down
act.
the gnome hole.
Kind
I
of.
don't care if and I don't care if the gnomes enjoy it or not. I just want them dead. Like,
See, here's the thing, Alex. Here's my argument to why you should let us do this to you. Is that what if somebody made a game like that already? What if somebody made a game?
A game based on gnome murder?
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
It is. I feel like my sentiments on gnomes can't be that singular. Like, I feel like somebody else has to feel the same way I do about them.
Corbin was joking that he was going to make like an account like Gnome Lover 69 or something like that, and then come into the chat and just ask you questions.
How many fucking people now just like
know that
I hate gnomes?
It's what you're going to be known for.
Just that I hate gnomes?
Yeah.
Just
you do bring it up all the time.
I don't bring it up all the time.
You talk about it all the time.
Yeah, because you guys are always bringing it up. Like, I do hate gnomes, and if I see a gnome, I'll bitch about it. But most of the time when we're talking about gnomes is that you guys are suggesting that I might want to fuck a gnome, that I should like live with a gnome, or that a gnome should that I should
fuck
like
you.
that there's something, I want to blow a gnome or whatever the fuck you guys are saying. It's usually how it starts. Usually there's like a lull. There's usually like a lull in a conversation. You'd be like, "Hey Alex, what do you think of gnome dicks?" And it's like
hey man, we change it up sometimes. We do ask about like the gnome vaginas that are like behind their beards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, fine. You guys keep a good mix on the gnome genitals.
Gnome genitalia variety that I think we strive for here. At Rated M for Immaturity, we have a variety of gnome genitalia brands that we're trying to...
Yeah, all I'm saying is, like usually there's, like, a lull in the conversation.
Oh, shit.
Everybody's sitting there, we're just hanging out or whatever, and then one of you guys got to bring up fucking gnome something.
I genuinely think me and Ulysses wait for... a lull in the conversation happens, and something in our brains in that moment goes, "Oh shit, ask Alex about gnomes." I think Michael comes in at the beginning of the night,
and immediately wants to talk about gnomes. I know I hate gnomes. I understand.
He just gets a lot of pleasure out of you hating them.
I just, whatever. I can't help but just wish they didn't exist.
I mean, that's a reasonable thing to think. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about gnomes, except for when you guys force me to think about them, and then I just become so irritated because like
Corbin did ask me like where your hatred came from, and my initial reaction was, I really actually don't know if he hated them as much until we started bringing them up constantly. That might be the reason that it's...
Well, I mean, I've always had, like, kind of a disdain for gnomes because, like I always say, there isn't a good gnome. They're useless fantasy creatures.
Right.
Like... But, yeah, it probably goes from the fact that, like, It goes from the fact that, like, I really do think gnomes are useless, and their inclusion in anything irritates me because it's never good, and they always bring things down.
Right.
But I don't know if I was, like, genocidal towards gnomes until except you guys continued to try to draw, like, more of my deep-seated hatred for them to the surface. To the point where, I just fucking hate gnomes now, dude. Like, I really don't like them.
I think it was worth it.
I don't know, man. I think if you had sex with a gnome...
You might change your mind.
Yeah, if you let that gnome rock your world, you'd be,
What the fuck? The fuck is a gnome gonna rock... How is a gnome gonna rock my world?
I don't know, man. You gotta give it a chance to.
Do I?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, how else will you know?
Do I need to know?
I mean, you gotta experience.
What if it's like the best experience that you could ever have in your life? Wouldn't you be sad?
What if you could learn all the secrets?
No, I wouldn't be sad about it because, you know what? Even if it felt amazing, Sage, I would still hate myself and probably kill myself for doing it.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it wouldn't feel amazing because there would be a deep sense of shame. No, I know that because I would experience a deep sense of shame from being that close to a gnome.
Maybe the shame would be a turn on for you. I mean, for some people, you know, they have.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It would actually make me want to kill myself. It would be extremely bad for my mental health.
Or
I
what if it
promise.
wasn't just one gnome? What if it was a gang of gnomes? And they all
You want to be gay?
A gang of no. Yo, Ulysses, you know what?
I love that we were having a legitimately philosophical conversation at one point.
Because it always does. You just want to see how irritated I get if you keep on bringing up fucking gnomes. Which you can always get me on that because I can't let it go.
I don't know, man. I think you might enjoy fucking a gnome.
Or many gnomes.
Why would fucking more than one gnome be better than
this is
fucking
new.
one
I've
gnome?
never done whatever this is. It's not happened in the game before.
It's gonna be some Indiana Jones shit.
Looks like a baylet.
It does.
Bagel?
Baylet.
Oh, baylet. Okay, I was gonna say a bagel.
Yeah, it doesn't
What the
look
fuck
like
are
a
you
bagel.
eating?
No.
I want to know what bagels you're eating.
A bagel.
Watch, it'll pop up a
berserk.
face. Yeah, it'll pop up a face.
Probably, yeah. Maybe the
Icor, so war.
Oh shit.
Ah, it had a hand.
Icor?
What's that?
I have no idea. I've literally never been able to interact with. What the fuck does that mean? I've never been able to interact with those before, and it was the vaguest
Is reaching
What
into
the
Oh,
fuck?
and now
something
there's
that
red
shouldn't
behind
exist is reaching out to me.
Hmm.
Huh. I have no idea what that meant. I have no idea what that meant.
That's
I just
crazy.
like, as much as I've gotten little bits of this mythology, like I've got theories about what's going on in this world, I really don't understand most of it still.
Huh.
And at this point, I'm like close to the end of the game.
What is that?
These are like they're creatures, but they like only net you the money.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
like they're not dangerous. They don't attack. at
Oh,
all, but-
okay.
You just have to chase them down so they get away or something.
Yeah, and they'll like disappear if you don't get them like within a certain amount of time.
That's fair.
So you just murder them for cash.
Yep. I mean that's literally exactly it.
That's fine.
It's
Whatever.
like minks in this universe.
There's a little living piggy bank. And sometimes those are traps.
Of course they are.
There are no guaranteed rewards in this game, that's for sure.
Nope. I run into traps in Dark Souls less frequently than this. Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's the game of
Like, that electric net, that's my weapon, right? So, like,
Oh,
you can see how eventually, like, with the boss in particular, like, that is going to just, like, massively benefit the
Right.
insane damage output. And it just starts hitting them from, like, every angle.
That's badass.
Best gun in the game. At least so far. I mean, there could be something else that we haven't seen yet, but...
I feel like at this point they would have shown you all the different guns you could get.
There does seem to be something new in every area, so I'm willing to bet there's like one more
Okay.
that I haven't seen, just because I've never gotten to Area 6.
Realistically, some sort of like super weird like rarity system. But, you know, I don't know.
Right.
Like some shit from like Diablo where you have to kill the boss 500 times to get the special suit of armor that gives you an extra skill or whatever.
Well, what the game does do is you won't get a weapon at all, and then until you get to like an area, you'll unlock that weapon for the first time, and then it will start appearing in all the other areas too.
Okay.
So like you do, so there's like a general like you gotta be like at least have gotten to this point of the game to like have this like a certain weapon unlocked. Like the electric gun unlocked upon just getting into Area 4 for the first time.
Oh wow.
Oh, fuck,
Jesus.
dude. Oh, be careful,
Yeah,
man.
you have such suppressor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these drones are like fucking.
Yeah. They're pretty brutal, dude.
Shit, that one kamikaze.
Shit. I think that's what happened the last time you died, because that
Yeah.
looked a lot like what happened the last time
Oh,
you
no,
died.
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
assuming that. You know what? I'm assuming that's the final boss of the game.
Look
I
like
can
one.
see
Or
that.
like maybe the 5th area boss or something.
Damn,
That's
dude.
gotta be a boss.
You got decently far. That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
blows. All right.
All right, yeah, that's gonna be it for
call it a
tonight.
stream.
Yep.
Yeah,
We,
Mr. Gunny, I'll give you a shout out since you were in the chat. But
Yep. Hey, it was good to see you, Mr. Gunny.
yeah, come back if you had fun. Don't if you didn't. You know.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
I'm not here to tell anyone what to do.
Yeah, if you didn't like it, but you're just into uncomfortable situations that make you miserable, come back.
I feel like that could be. I could feel like that could be like our whole fan base, honestly.
So they want to listen to us talk.
Yeah, if you hate yourself, like and subscribe.